Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How are you guys doing? Whoocha. It will, well, let me see. What can I go into? Y'all know I'm like fake ass private, right? I've been chilling, working, same old, dealing with kids. How was y'all's 4th of July, honeys? What's up, Cynical? How you doing, girl? How's your 4th of July? Um, Curlin and I went to Mississippi and then we went to Memphis for a little bit, did a little 1 2 1 2. Um my 4th of July was nothing short of amazing. We got to cook for our families and we cooked a smorgasbord of food and really chilled out. I got a chance to see my dad. I haven't seen my dad in prior to that. It's been like almost a year. So saw him and my the rest of my family. So I got a chance to see my brother and my sisters. Well, one of them was missing, but it was dope. My brother has a farm or he has an Airbnb on a farm. So he actually had like cows and chickens and goats and shit. So and roosters. So every morning it was like, I can't do it right now because I was out misbehaving last night. Mind y'all business. Curly had me outside, child. So dope night last night. Dope 4th of July. Ain't really been nothing popping. Like for real, taking care of my kid. He's here for the summer. We've been having a ball with him. Yeah, so everything has been everything, child. Same old, same old. Um, I wanted to go live today because I was supposed to be doing like 3 videos a week. If I get busy, them 3 videos ain't happening. So I saw a clip of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant on Paul Pierce's yesterday, and I was like, I gotta do a reaction to that. And so yeah, child. Shout out to DMAC. DMAC says being outside has an age limit. Listen, I be out with the old people, yo. I be out with the old people, but we still be outside. Child, we had a time. It was a time. So yeah, but shout out to everybody for all y'all in the chat. Yes. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm gonna get started. This video is probably about an hour 45 minutes. Ooh, hey, Mr. Curly. Hey. Babe, I got something for you. Huh? I can't hear you.
We grilling.
We grilling? Damn. It's another situation, child. It's about to be another situation.
They got the size. I just got to run the cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll feed you.
All right. Thank you. All right, y'all. Anyway, sorry. We gotta throw some meat on the grill today, child. So it's yeah. But anywho, back to this Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Cheyenne is a piece of work. Now, most of us are familiar with her from what's the basketball player with the hats and stuff? What is that man's name? I swear to God, I can't remember that man's name. But y'all know who I'm talking about. When she told him he wasn't a good dad because he wasn't in the house with all them damn children that he made. High key, she didn't say it just like that, but alluded to his children missing out on some things because he's not in the house with them. High key, I agree with that. Like high key. The problem is if a father's not in the house, money does not replace fatherhood. Money doesn't replace motherhood. Money doesn't replace fatherhood and the things that we need from both parents. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Leo. Cam Newton. Cam Newton. She was on Cam Newton's show and she was telling him, telling him about himself essentially. And I'm not going to lie, aspects of that conversation and the way that she called him out, I agreed with a lot of what she said in regards to that. Money does not replace fatherhood. You can't throw money at, well, you can throw money at situations, but the things that you get from your fathers, like discipline, self-respect, being able to emotionally regulate, I think a lot of those things come from fathers. So I felt like she had some great points when she was talking to Cam. Now, I know a lot of men didn't agree with that and talked about, I don't know what the hell they was talking about. A lot of men didn't agree with that. I actually agree with that. But when I got to watching this clip yesterday or whatever, and I listened to like parts of that conversation, I was like, I know she lying. I know she lying. I know she ain't trying to call out no child. Anywho, let's just get into it, child. Let's get into it. Let me share my video. Child, they didn't change stream yours. Lord have mercy. That is not what I was trying to do. I hate when they change stuff and I don't know what the hell is going on. Baby, because I really don't. Like, what we doing? Oh my gosh. Like, they changed the whole thing. And all I want to do is share a video, baby. All I want to do is share a video. Why can't I share a video? Babe, if you're listening, come help me. Y'all would be so lost without Caroline, I swear to God. Because what the hell did they do? Did they put it to where you can't share a video? I gotta upgrade these plans, child. Oh, like, I really don't know how to share a video on here now. What did they do? Oh my God. Y'all. Okay. Okay. I figured it out. Oh my God. Oh my God. There we go. Okay. Can y'all see? We in there? We are in there. I'm going to do full mode. Okay. I got it together. Crisis averted. Let's speed that thing up. Let's do like 1.25. Where the heck is the speed? Okay. Next time, I honestly thought I had this shit set up first, and I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna be in there." And look at me. Okay. Oh shit, I'm nervous. I done made myself nervous, child. Okay, y'all ready? Let's get into it. Shout out to Paul Pierce. Go watch this full video. If y'all don't want to hear my mouth over it, go watch it on his channel. Dope channel. You know you're supposed to say that. Okay.
7. Right. So which means he no longer a unc. Which means you no longer a unc, you a papa. That means you a cook papa. You are no longer a unc. And young men are willing to wine and dine and prepare.
They are the table here. Can y'all hear the video? Can y'all hear it? Stable volume. Let me see. Let's see. Can y'all hear it? Let me check in the chat. Okay, y'all can hear it. All right.
For the cooked meat.
They do.
Trust me. The motor men sitting back with papa stands like you, with their glass in their hand saying, when you gonna serve daddy? When you gonna serve me?
Make daddy a sandwich.
Make daddy a sandwich.
You pregnant?
I was like, do we get an exclusive?
Right.
No, I took my IUD out about a month ago so that I can.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I really thought I had all of this crap together and I cannot hear it. Let's go back to full screen and like, what the hell? Y'all really thought I had all this shit together. Like, why is the volume low for me? Oh gosh. Hold on, y'all. Let me mute. Oh gosh. Hey. Okay. Babe, I can't hear on my end that well. Like, why is my volume like this? I don't know how to work none of this shit. It's fine right here. Like, I can, but the video is low. It has something right here called stable volume.
I don't know what that does.
Let me see if I play it now.
Yes, I
But it's
love
got
that.
the eggs.
No, that's not it.
It's playing out of here. I heard it in this speaker.
Yeah.
Go right here.
Where?
Right here on the little to the right there. And hit that thing. Let's see what no, you just turn it down. Let me see what hit this little arrow right here. And let's see where it's playing out of. Yep, it's playing out of these speakers. So go to the hit sound settings. Because your Zoom should be on there. Should be on that list. And
Wait a minute, child. Let me stop sharing because I don't need y'all to be up in nothing.
you was only sharing the
I know.
the window.
I know.
Let me see.
Sorry, y'all. Give me a second, child. I know they'd be like, this shit is so ghetto. It is. It is. Mind y'all business.
Yeah, you're
It's supposed to be out of this thing, right?
right, and it's not. That's why it's not showing.
Do I need to turn this off and then turn it back on?
Either that or disconnect it and reconnect it. Hold it before you turn it off. Oh, you already turned it off.
Yeah. Hold on. Ooh, child. So ghetto.
It's not ghetto.
It is ghetto.
It's not.
Because it should have been together.
Hey, stuff happens.
There it is.
There you go. So now it should be playing out of there.
Okay.
And for input, you want. Yeah, there you go. So now, this your StreamYard.
Yeah.
Let's make sure your audio devices are right. Audio, zoom. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you should be good.
Okay. Thank you, babe. Okay. Oh God. Big J, who said that Kevin Samuels wasn't a hypocrite or didn't have hypocritical stances? Certainly not me. And rest in peace to that man, but I did not everything he said I didn't agree with. I didn't think he was lying about everything, but I'm not one-dimensional to say that Kevin Samuels was right about everything, but I'm not going to sit here and say that he was wrong about everything. Some of this shit he talked about, he was truthful, very truthful on, and some of that shit was a little sketchy. Like, I don't know, right? Okay, we in there now, child. I was like, what the fuck? Sorry. Okay, y'all ready? Let's get it.
IUD is like.
You took the eggs out and
No,
freeze them?
I have one guy that I have
Yeah,
dated
she's
off and
stuttering
on
now. We
for
got
5
her.
years.
Got her.
We dated for 5 years off and
So
on.
you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work? Or he your work?
We working together.
So the D is good.
Oh,
Let's keep it. I mean, it's like, dude. Let's
he
keep
put
it
on
100.
his red pajamas and feel like he's supposed to get spicy
This
tonight.
is clear.
This is the exact conversation that I am looking to expose, child. Yeah. Cheyenne is a fool with it. We gotta get into it because I'm like, I know you fucking lying. Excuse my language, y'all. I know she lying. No, hold on. Look at this.
There's good men out there that women are not receptive to because their own barriers, issues, and traumas that y'all got to work through.
I don't know if she should be a therapist or a pimp.
Earlier last year. So which means he no longer a
47
unk.
in
Which
shape.
means you no longer a unk, you a
47
papa.
in shape.
That means you a cook papa.
Can
You
still-
are no longer a unk.
Can still dunk.
So what he's doing from a psychological
run a 40.
perspective, is he's self-projecting his papa cook self on you. Because honey, you're not cooked. But the papas are.
Hello.
They are.
Come through.
You are no longer unk, baby. You are a papa status.
All right.
You
so
know what
listen.
papas do, right? They
What do
watch
they do?
grandkids and cook. You cooked. That's all you do.
No, I
Yeah.
don't watch. I don't have no grandkids. So no.
Her, on the other hand, she still rare marinated meat. That's what that is.
Hello, rare
She
marination.
ain't even got to cook it yet. She not even nowhere near the grill yet.
Hello. That's why we was matching.
So for now on, for the entirety of this episode, I'm gonna call you Papa Pierce.
I'll take that.
It's so funny when it comes down to women. We have such issues with aging. Have y'all noticed like women's obsession with being young, looking young, like nobody wants to get old anymore. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it, but it's not to say that you got to look like old and tired and shit, but we have a thing with like aging. It's so weird to me. It's weird to me that nobody notices it, but I don't know. It's just weird. Look at this.
She gonna get Papa Pierce.
Papa Pierce
All right.
is comedy.
That's
I
all you
love
get.
that down.
He don't like it. He looking at you like.
All right, let's start. Let me say something.
Go ahead.
Let me say something. So I'm a chef too, right? So, I prep, like the night before, like right now I'm marinating some steaks and some ribs, whatever. So when you marinating something, what that mean? It's not ready, right? It's not ready. It's in the refrigerator, right?
It's called preparation.
Okay, I don't want that.
It's called
All
preparation.
right, so I don't want something that's not ready. Okay, now, once you do the marinating, you do the time, you throw it in the oven. Now it's in the oven, right? It's in the oven, it's cooking. I don't want nobody that's cooking. Like, it ain't ready. It's not ready. It's in the oven, right? So now the time go by and years or whatever happened. Pull it out the oven. It's done. It's cooked, right?
He even storytell like a papa. Keep
No,
going.
listen.
going.
I like cooked food.
Okay.
So,
So
me,
she's cooked. You like her.
no.
we good.
What I'm saying is, people looked at this as me dissing women.
Right.
No, it's not a diss to
I got
women.
you.
I like cooked
You're
food.
saying you like a woman who's cooked,
Who's ready, who's seasoned,
who's experienced,
experience,
who has wisdom.
See, so y'all
Yes,
took it out
who
of
has
context.
wisdom.
But that's
Gotcha.
not what he was
I
saying.
got
Yes,
you.
that's
First
exactly
time.
what. Don't
I
tell me
got
what
you.
I'm saying.
What he's saying is that the meat that's
I'm
marinated
listening.
is still marinating,
Y'all think they gonna jump him? They gonna jump his ass. Let's see.
and it's
Exactly.
preparing for the opportunity. He's saying a woman who is cooked,
Boom.
been there, done that, has
Yeah.
the wisdom, she has the
Boom.
experience, and so he don't have to teach her to marinate. He don't have to put her in the freezer. He ain't got to wait for her
Yeah.
ass to come out. He ain't got to put her on
So-
the oven and wait for the oven to go. She's ready.
And
She comes already seasoned, ready, and fresh.
But
so
he's
ladies,
cleaning
no,
it
no,
up
let me- no,
because
no,
last
let me-
time
let
I
me
said
talk,
that
let me
I can.
talk.
Go ahead.
No, listen.
Go
now.
ahead.
And so I'm cleaning it up.
Clean it
So
up.
I'm like,
Clean it up.
listen, it wasn't a knock.
Okay.
It was a tee up.
Exactly.
Come
And I
on.
was waiting for this.
Let me ask y'all a question. Just real quick. Do y'all think that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant hates men? I honestly think that she is a man. She's definitely a man eater, but her energy always kind of comes across as like she really hates men. Am I the only one picking up on that? I know men think that she hates men, but ladies, do y'all think that she hates me? The way she talks to me, and it's almost kind of condescending and like niggas ain't shit. You ain't never gonna. That's the vibe she always gives out. I don't know. It's so weird to me.
Episode to
Yeah.
like explain it. So like, oh, this ain't no knock on you being cooked. I like cooked food.
Well, so baby
Like-
girl, he said you cooked. That means you seasoned, you ready, you
I
experienced,
mean,
and you
she
wise.
cooked, you cooked. We like cooked food.
We got you in here.
y'all ready to go.
And now Papa is cooking. Now you're
Right,
cooking, baby.
right.
Papa Pierce.
You ready to go? I got my to-go box. I'm gonna throw y'all in that. We're going to the crib.
I love it. Okay. Clean it up.
Like that ain't
I'm
that
not
wasn't
mad at
so
it.
that wasn't a bad thing. Is
Okay,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
okay.
But people want to talk to me like I'm down and with no. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good thing. So don't take it. And I know in society and how we word things like, oh yeah, he's saying they washed. Washed is
That's
another
different.
word.
Yeah,
That's
he said
different.
cooked.
I said cooked.
Washed is different.
Washed is different.
Because technically, let me say this because I love what you're saying, Paul. Technically, if a person was to eat that raw uncooked meat,
yeah, you might get sick.
they would become
Come on.
intoxicated with salmonella.
Come on.
So you don't want nothing that's raw. You need it to be fully cooked. So you can actually have a healthy relationship with no intoxication, no dysfunction, and no raw meat that's gonna have your ass sitting in my office, the doctor's office, because you ate something that wasn't ready.
Come on.
Child, I'd rather go to Dr. Seuss before I use Cheyenne as a doctor. Like, dead serious. Cheyenne is, it's so weird. Like, when she did that interview on Cam Newton's, I think a lot of us was like, okay, we understand where she's coming from. We get it, whatever. But listening to her here, or listening to her like on podcasts after the fact, I'm like, she's a wild girl. Cheyenne has some issues. Like for real. Listen to her.
Come on. Sing to the choir.
That's why I did it. And I was like, oh, they taking this as something that's bad. No, this ain't
and
bad.
It's not.
It's not bad. If I say you cook, that means you ready.
So listen, young fellas, because I'm 42 and cooked. Make sure you get you a woman who is cooked, can cook, and will be able to cook. All right? There's a difference. Because from what Paul just said, and I just added to, if she's not cooked, she's raw meat. And anything raw, baby, will intoxicate you. It's not good for your health.
Speak that.
Now it makes sense.
I love that.
I ain't gonna lie, she sounds silly as hell. She sounds silly. Okay, let's go.
I love that.
I'm not here to diss women. I'm here to like say, hey, cooked is amazing.
Come on, cooked is amazing. For everyone in my DM said I'm cooked. It's amazing, baby. That's why when he said it, I said I'm cooked and I taste delicious.
That's why all these young boys,
come on,
y'all like unseasoned meat. Y'all like.
No, it's the older men that like that. It's not the young ones.
That's true. The younger men like the ones like they like the cooked meat.
They know what's going on.
Let me tell you, they know.
It's the older ones who wants that unseasoned shit.
Yes, and then young men are willing to wine and dine and prepare the table for the cooked meat.
They do.
Trust me. The older men sitting back with papa stands like you with their glass in their hand saying, when you gonna serve daddy? When you gonna serve me?
Make daddy a sandwich.
Make daddy a Sammy. Make me a Sammy.
The thing, okay. Oh God, this is already problematic as hell. When it comes to like serving a man, doing things for a man, we have men that we want to do it for, and ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then men that we will absolutely like, you need to do it for me. So it seems like a big thing now with older women not being able to attract men in their age groups. It's a thing, right? But these young guys have been willing to like wine and dine, really, really pursue or whatever. But older men are pursuing younger women. Older women are pursuing younger men, and vice versa. Men want to be able to have somebody they can teach, mold, people that'll listen, do what they say, be able to have somebody that's more agreeable. Younger women are going to do that because they don't really have the wisdom, whatever. And just more willing to do those things. When it comes down to older men dealing with younger men, older women are being able to get their, let's keep it a buck. It's really all about sex. That's all it's about. It's about sex. Papa ain't gonna be able to blow your back out like they used to. It's not a thing. But older women having access to sex and somebody to tell them that they pretty and they sweet and they whatever, we're seeing like a clear different dating dynamic now. It's like it's so different, and it's crazy as hell because women are still mad at men for doing the same things that we do. Women are pursuing younger men or like to be pursued by younger men. And it's still crazy that they're pointing the finger at older men. They're pointing fingers at their counterparts for doing the same. It is crazy as hell to me. And I'm like, nobody's noticing this? Okay.
Make daddy a sandwich.
I'm crying. Look, while she already cooked, he want a sandwich.
Exactly.
Make daddy a sandwich.
I'm done.
Like Anthony Mackie said. Make daddy a
But
sandwich.
let me answer that, because a cooked seasoned woman
will make daddy a sandwich.
Right. And then come back and say, more?
Hello.
Or did you need dessert?
I need dessert.
See, that's why you want a cooked woman.
Right.
Because she gonna make the sandwich, she gonna cook a meal and then say, anything else? Hold on, Daddy.
Preach.
Come on.
Preach.
Is your glass half empty?
Yep.
So we're gonna make it half full.
So now I'm glad we had a chance to clear this up, bringing Doc on. Listen, I had to explain that because I got a lot of flack. Cooked is good, girl.
And y'all came for me heavy. Y'all trifling for that.
So you youngins or you oldens or whoever
Oldens.
You papas.
listen, cook is cracking.
Cook is cracking.
Cook is cracking.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. So now my next question for you is, I don't know if you've seen this, but Paul said, I'm coming for Paul tonight. Paul said that marriage is for old and poor people. What do you believe? How do you feel about that?
Well, y'all.
Hold on. Paul, listen. Paul cooked again. Because he cooked again. He liked cook because he cooking. Studies show that the poor folks who marry. Now, I come from the hood. I come from very humble beginnings, so I'm going off studies. I have no problem with
Long Beach in the house.
right. Yes, but what I'm saying, studies do show that that marriage is more successful, long-lasting, less stressful, and happy when two people actually have money that provides resources for a great quality of life. He's correct.
Talk to him.
Marriage,
Talk
when
about it.
folks who don't have financial stability, which provides resources for a great quality of life, which in return makes it to where your stress levels are low and you can actually enjoy each other, the divorce rate is much, much higher. Much, much higher. Much higher. So, I mean, in reality, you know, back in the day, marriage was a privilege, and it was only a privilege for the folks who were wealthy. That's just the truth of the matter. Like folks who were not economically stable didn't have the privilege of being able to be married.
What is she talking about? Okay. Marriage was actually much higher back in the day. People were much poorer back in the day. Oh my God. It's like you get people on the internet and they just spout off shit. What studies are saying this? It's unbelievable to me. I'm like, oh my God, where is she getting this from? Marriage was actually higher back in the day. Then when you're talking about marriage and incomes, two incomes are better than one. Most people have not had the privilege of everybody staying at home, most women being able to be housewives. Absolutely not true. Most people have worked since the 60s. Most. Wow. Just making stuff up as she goes along. Marriage provides more stability for two people. Being single, y'all, I've been hearing this conversation. If I gotta go half with a man on some bills, I'd rather be by myself. And this is the thing that we sound crazy when we say certain things, because I don't think that we fully think these things through. If you're paying half the bills, you're paying half the bills. That means there's less stress on you to pay all the bills. Now, a lot of women will say, well, if I got to pay half the bills, now I'd rather just be by myself. I want you to think about how crazy you sound when you say that. Now, I think there's a couple different dynamics we can go into. First of all, if you're paying half the bills, you got somebody paying another half. You have somebody that's attributing to some of the work that's going on that has to be done in the house. When you're in the house with somebody, you have kids to worry about, cooking, cleaning, laundry. If you're in an apartment, you may not have to worry about outside work and stuff like that. But if you're in a house, then you need to worry about repairs for the house, things going on around the house, maintenance of that stuff, upkeep of those things, cars. And then if you're a single person having to manage all of those things, you're not going to tell me that your stress level isn't higher than someone that's partnered up with somebody. We say things and we don't fully think these things through. But if you really, really think about what you would have to do as a single person and all the responsibilities that you have to have as a single person, the weight is different. It's different. You're not going to tell. Hell, when I was single, don't let you be a single parent. You're having to worry about maintaining the emotional health, safety of your kid. You have to have your kid in school, so that means helping out with homework, bath time. If they in any type of sports, taking them to and from practice, making sure that that stuff is taken care of, making sure the grades and stuff is on point, making sure they're getting tutoring, making sure they're spending time with their other parent, making sure your house is clean, making sure they're having good food. If you even if you taking them to McDonald's every day, because I know some chicks who did that, you're having to do so much work as a single. Like, we don't think about the things that we say. She's just spouting stuff off. Oh my gosh. The thing is though, now I'm not, and I'm gonna talk from a decent relationship standpoint. I'm not saying if you got some lazy dude up in your house that all he does is play PlayStation all day. We ain't talking about them. We're gonna start talking from perspectives of normal freaking people and what. Well, I ain't gonna even say that's not a norm. We get what we choose. You know what I'm saying? If you dealing with somebody that play PlayStation all day, that's your fault. It's your fault for not knowing how to set a boundary, not knowing how to get certain things done. That's your fault. If you dealing with a lazy chick that won't ever clean, that's your fault. That's your fault. Cause at some point we all have to grow up. And so, oh my God. Um, but from the perspective of having somebody else there, if you're dealing with a decent relationship, and I'm not saying everything has to be perfect, but if you're dealing with a decent relationship, everybody knows that everybody has to play a part. Everybody has a role in that relationship. And one thing shouldn't be left on the woman, or one thing shouldn't be left on the man. Most people have paid bills together. Like, oh my gosh, listen to this.
And when I look back on it, of course, I think marriage should be available an option to anyone without discrimination. But if you really look at it, when two people get married who are not ready, we're not even talking about just mental health wise, right, emotional intelligence wise, but economically, they are marrying into a deficit because they are not able to provide each other the full essence of the quality of life that they want in a marriage, even for themselves individually. And I have yet to meet a man, and I say, yeah, and I've been in my field 17 years. I have yet to meet a man, no matter how on the lower economic status he was, on the high economic status he was, who did not want to at some point be able to provide for his woman. Even if he couldn't, there was something in that man that said, like, at some point, I would love to be able to provide economically for my woman. And when a man can't, it shifts the dynamic in that marriage. And it does put that man in a deficit in many ways. And oftentimes that man doesn't know how to process those emotions, identify how he feels, and say, listen, maybe I am a little disconnected from you. Maybe you do feel that there is some type of barrier between us that I'm unaware of, but I'm not able to be at my full potential with you. And so it does affect me.
Now, in aspects of that, I do have to agree with when a man isn't able to provide for his woman. I do think that there's aspects of your relationship that goes down. I agree with that. The other side of the conversation that we don't really talk about is what we do as women to emasculate a man that's not able to provide. If I'm making all the money, then I get to make all the big decisions. It's hard for a woman to follow a man that she's doing more than. It's just what it is. If I'm making all the money and I'm providing, and I honestly don't think men should always be providers in a situation, because our our essence as women, we are not apt to listen to a man that's not doing what. If he's providing, protecting, I feel like he should definitely play his role fully. But if a man's not playing his role fully, we as women find it hard. We don't listen. It's like vagina goes super dry when a man is not in his role. And I'm not saying, like, if a man is doing his part, paying a bit, and he should be doing a little bit more because he is the man in that relationship. He should absolutely be doing a little bit more. I actually agree with certain aspects of that. But we don't talk about how we will emasculate a man if he's not. We will emasculate the shit out of a man if he's not doing a certain thing. So I kind of agree with that. I agree with that.
And anything that affects that man is going to affect the entire dynamic of that relationship. And if you have kids, then who is getting the short end of the stick? Those babies. Absolutely. And so this is why I always say to people, I'm 42 and I'm not married with any kids yet. I'm ready now. But I wanted to purposely wait till I was educated, until I had my career. I wanted to wait until I was economically stable enough to provide a life for my children and choose a man from not a perfect place, but a healthy place,
Mm.
so that I can say I'm not only choosing a husband, but I'm choosing a father.
Mm.
I had this conversation with someone a while back, and we were talking about motherhood and, women waiting, later on in life to get married, and the value of being in a marriage and having kids. And nowadays, women don't see value in that. We don't see value in the whole situation. Your kids are going to turn out how they want to. You really don't have no control over anybody. Most women feel like they're being cheated on or going to get dogged down in a relationship. And so we kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater nowadays. And a lot of us develop mentalities just like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. A lot of us develop these same mentalities. What's it worth? If he's going out cheating, dogging us out, whatever, then if kids ain't doing this, that, and the third, what's the point? And a lot of women kind of feel like they're getting the short end of the stick in marriage and relationships. And it's a society shift, truthfully. You get on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, you will see a lot of women with these mentalities. Like, so many women are developing these same mentalities that, well, if I got my education, I'm making the money now, I could take a leave a relationship, because a lot of women just feel like men aren't from the start. You know what I mean? Or this is going to happen, so at least I have this to fall back on. And the value of a relationship as marriage is, women do not see that as the same. Women don't see it as valuable like they used to. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's interesting to see the shift. At one point, I think relationships and marriage was like, the epitome, the ultimate. You get a good man, you settle down with, y'all get y'all house, 2 cars, whatever. You got your kids, white picket fence, and it's not modern nowadays. Modern women are more like, well, I don't want to be like my mom and my grandma, while they had a sense of family and all of that stuff. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to get cheated on. I don't want to get yada, yada, yada. We say this out of one breath, but we're going to get into it. So y'all hear her saying all of this. I wanted to get my career. I wanted to make sure I had my degrees. I wanted to make sure my money was up. Y'all hear her saying this and saying that she wanted to wait until she was healthy to be in a relationship. The crazy thing is, even in her dynamic and her saying this stuff right now, she is a very mentally unhealthy woman. She is not healthy mentally. Mental health wise, Dr. Cheyenne crazy as a box of 2 rocks. Listen to her.
For my kids, before I even, procreate with this man, a lot of folks who do marriage early are choosing codependently a partner who can satisfy their trauma in that space.
Ooh.
And they trauma bond. And after that trauma's healed or that trauma shifts, those conditions are gone. So guess what's also gone? The bond. Because if the trauma changes, which is what's the glue to the bond, then the bond has to change. So now we say we outgrew each other. No, y'all never were with each other. You were with each other's traumas.
Ooh.
You don't even know this man.
Ooh. Damn.
Wait a minute.
No.
So
Okay,
go for it, Paul.
You said sorry.
What is
so you still want to get married and you still want kids?
What's so funny about that?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like
what's so
no, I
funny?
just feel like
why was you laughing?
No.
No, Paul has a right to laugh at that. Because it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. And what we're realizing as older women, we get to a certain point, we done did everything we wanted to do. We've traded our relationship, our kids, we've traded that for money, careers, taking trips, balling out. It's a trade-off. And Paul is right to laugh. You're 42 years old. Not to say that it's impossible. Not probable, though. It's not probable when we get to a certain age. It's not. And I think women, we get kind of offended when men talk about our values going down. When we get, the older we get, you're not having the same men chase you We don't see value. And this is the thing with a lot of us women. Women want young D from old men, but we don't really see value in young men. We really don't. We value them enough to have sex with them, send them on their way, but we don't really see a lot of value in younger men. Because most women don't want to be mothers to their men, sex wise. And there has to be a distinction there. Sex wise, we'll have sex with younger men, bed them, but when it comes down to relationships and stuff like that, most women want to feel taken care of. Most women want to feel provided for, and we don't see the same characteristics in younger men than we do in older men or men in our age group. So Paul is absolutely right to laugh at her, because you are 42 years old and you want these things now, but you know, come on now.
This is not a knock. This is just like, I feel like when you get older, like this is the time to enjoy more life. This is not the time to be like, you should be looking to travel the world, like see the world, because we on the back nine. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the back nine.
You are, not me. Papa, you, not me.
I'll take that.
I'm
on
still
the back.
auntie.
Yeah, you auntie. But I just feel like once the 40s hit, it should be like, man, you know what? That's all good, because like, you know, kids take up a lot of time, and kids will redirect the relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and I just feel like for me, like, this is the thing. I fell in love with what I was in love with the situation, how they were before the kid, and the dynamic of the kid, because you don't have no script for this. When the kid comes, the whole dynamic of the relationship changed now.
Especially for the man. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for the man.
Because now you go, and it's funny because I look.
She's even weird in saying that the situations change for women, and I actually kind of disagree with that, because women tend to take up most of the responsibility of quote unquote raising a kid. Man's out working, doing whatever. The situation shifts for a woman. Truthfully, it really shifts for a woman. I don't even know why she would try to make a distinction. Maybe because we don't talk about what childhood does to, you know, what having children does to men. Maybe she's bringing it up because of that. But to say that it is especially for men, no, especially for women. You didn't have a child, you're going through the emotional pains of having a kid, postpartum, then having to breastfeed, getting up in the middle. Child, it's a whole thing. I don't know. It was just a weird point that I don't know why she brought that up.
In public relationships, like how a lot of famous like actors or actresses, like they divorce within the first few years of having kids. Why, right?
Paul, you cook again, I'm about to put your ass back on the grill. What you cooking? Because no, because
I know what I'm talking about.
Marriages, divorce happens within the first year
of
birth.
Yeah.
Within the first year.
Yeah.
That's when divorce happens. And if the folks are not married, that's when separation or breakup happens within the first year of that child.
And I'll tell you why too.
Go for it, yeah.
Like, because like you fall in love, you meet a girl or you meet a guy, you fall in love with like, damn, I love that, you know, how we are right now. We travel, it's sex every day, and it's glazing in your eyes, and we're going here, we're going there, we're going there. So now the pregnancy comes. Those things stop.
Stay there. The pregnancy comes. What does that mean for the man's position in that relationship? Explain that to us.
Well,
as a man.
As a man, you fell in love with what made you fell in love with. Like, we going here, we going there. It's spontaneous.
The spontaneity of doing things, the get up and go. My go-to, my road dog.
My man, let's go. Like, wake up, go, boom, do this. And then all that's just stops. And then it's like, damn, you know, we ain't even doing the same stuff. But like, it changes the whole dynamic. And it's just like, damn, now you get so deep in the pregnancy, now the sex stops. And that stops for a minute. And that's what and that the sex ain't what made you fall in love. It's just,
I think those are fair points though. Y'all think those are fair points? I think that's a fair point. Things do stop once you get pregnant. Children do change the dynamics of a relationship, but I feel like it changes the woman more because we're not able to do the same things that we were doing before we got pregnant. So yeah.
Just the whole friendship, all of this. And like, You got to go
but the
through it.
sex is a part of the expression of love. Let's keep it real, because when we're talking about casual sex, then sex is an act for pleasure. But when we're talking about relationship, marital sex, where like you're saying, we love each other, you know, you might go to my ace, boom, that sex is a part of the expression of love now. It satisfies the duality of, okay, physically, yeah, we may orgasm, but emotionally and spiritually, right? This is a way for us to be in tune and connect and be in our space and get our vibe and be in ecstasy together and take ourselves like into an outer body experience sexually. If you're doing it in the way that's not casual and you're really plugged into the person, that's the experience. So you get more than a internal orgasm. You get that external orgasm, and now you have a duality of what you're talking about, that connection that fuses people, not just the orgasm.
Agreed.
And in saying that, when that stops for like months, it could be a year. It's
But I want to ask you this, because I've been in my field 17 years. You're hitting the number one complaints I get from all of my married men who come in session with me. What is the impact of the stopping of the intimacy, which is sex and intimacy, the connection with your woman, I get to have her, available and conveniently for me, for us. I want to know, what are the impacts of that on a man for you?
I think that's a hella valid question to ask. I think she's cooking right here because women go through so many changes, but we never ever stop to think about how it impacts men, because most of the time it's all about us and what we're going through. So I think she has some good points there. I think that's a great point to bring up, because nobody really talks about how aspects of this impacts men. I think that's great.
Well, this is what you fell in love with. You fell in love with that. So now that get taken away from you. And then now, not only does that get taken away from you, now from getting 100% of the attention, man, you might go from 100 to now you get 30%, because when the baby comes, that's like when that comes from a woman, that connection is a different connection now. When you birth a kid, like that come from that's like it came from your soul. Like now,
and now that woman has to assume a duality of mama and wife.
Yeah.
And the man only has to stay in one role.
Husband and father? Like what? What? That's why I say she crazy as hell. This is why I say she's crazy as hell, though. Now, of course, the man's role isn't going to be as significant as a woman who just birthed a child, so to speak. And I mean, like with breastfeeding, she's pushed a baby out of her full body. And maybe there hasn't been enough studies done as far as like what men go through physically, emotionally, as far as like having children, because men do go through certain things while a woman's pregnant, but we don't really talk about those things. And it's kind of seen as like an old wives' tale. I don't know if I ever told y'all, like my grandmother on my father's side knew that my mom was pregnant with my dad because of how my dad was sleeping. I knew that I was pregnant with Solomon. Well, I didn't believe it at first, child, but the way my baby dad was sleep, and it was like, what the heck? Why are you so sleepy? Like, why are you so tired? And we don't really talk about those things. It's kind of like nobody really pays attention to those things, and we're so far removed from it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy how removed from that we are. We don't even think about it no more. You know what I mean? Nobody talks about it, the effects. So it's interesting.
Because at the beginning of a child's infancy, with all due respect, they don't need you for survival. They need you for presence and love, of course, but they don't need you for survival, right? They need mom, especially if she's breastfeeding. And so the man, 100%, Paul, gets pushed out of that dynamic, totally out of it. And a lot of women who are either fatherless girls or they had father in the home, because I always say you can have a present parent that also presents trauma. So just because a parent is present doesn't mean that it doesn't present trauma. Yeah. But if you're also a woman in the household who didn't see your mom navigate mommyhood and wifehood and balance that, then that woman doesn't know how to do that. On top of that, she may be experiencing postpartum. And let me go another route that we don't talk about enough. Men also experience postpartum, but we don't talk about it.
What is that?
It's when there is a hormone imbalance, right, from a woman giving birth.
For a man, though.
Oh, for a man. Oh, for a man. Oh, it's well, just like you and your woman are connected. Yeah. You're in tune. If me and her are in a house for 60 days, 3 months, our menstrual cycles end up being on the same cycle. Yep. You know that, right? Naturally. Did you know that? If women live together for a short period of time, all of our cycles in the house end up being on the same cycle. We will start our period the same day.
Even if you just hang out with a woman a lot.
100%.
Like I can hang out with a
100%.
homegirl, kick it with her for a few weeks, like a month, and next episode, like my period will shift.
There you
Like
go.
it was on the 17th, now it's coming on the 3rd because yours comes on the 3rd.
There you go. So if that happens
Yeah.
amongst women who are just girlfriends, how harmoniously connected and intertwined do you think you and your woman are?
I think she's speaking on some real stuff right here. Um, yeah, I think she's speaking on some real stuff right here. Now what I'm curious about, like with the menstrual stuff, I'm wondering whose ever personality is more dominant or who's the older, like what makes your shift to another person's or what makes their shift to yours, which is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Or does it end up being like, um, y'all end up shifting just toward you know what I mean? I think she has a point there, but even when it comes down to relationships and everything else, semen is the tie that bonds. And y'all end up being, you kind of be as one. So I think she has a good point there. I think that's a good point.
Let's just say is your wife and she's having your child.
Damn, I never thought about that.
And so, women do need care around that time. But I always have an issue with that. And again, I'm gonna disclaim it again. Women need all the care and support and love around birth and postpartum and all of that. However, men get shut out of also experiencing postpartum and being shut out of the family dynamic because now you're the outsider. And there's a new little bundle of joy that I have yet to meet a man who's not overly excited and in love with their child, but they're also trying to navigate where do I fit in this equation now without me sounding selfish and crazy, right? And telling her, I feel like you're putting the baby before me because most men don't know how to express that without feeling guilty because they're going, wait, but she's supposed to mother my child.
Yeah.
And I want my child to not go without this experience. And I don't want to take the experience from my wife. So then the man ends up being in a position of having to process all that shit on his own or with his boys, or I'm gonna go there with his side chick. And I'm just keeping it real because those are all real dynamics.
Good points. Good points. I think she has some good points there.
Man then ends up stepping out. I'm not condoning it. I'm just speaking what really happens a lot of times. They end up stepping out to get what they believe or not believe their experiences missing, that they're the deficit. To feel that deficit, it doesn't make it right, but we're talking about the reality of what happens. And then what happens with the woman? She's left at home to be a single mama in a house where she has a family.
Ooh.
So she don't have a broken home because everybody in the house. But guess what? She got a broken family because that house is impaired.
Damn. But like as a woman myself who doesn't have children, hearing things like this does not motivate me to want to have kids. Yeah, I'm like, I'm cool. Like, I'll just be with my man. We could hit it. We could travel. Like, hearing this, it's like, damn. Like, of course, I'm a nurturing woman. I have a motherly instinct. And I've always felt like, okay, I could be a mom and I want to be a mom. But as I get older and I view these different relationships and I see how it makes their relationship so strained and they're so stressed out. Like, I don't know one relationship that did not go through that and is not strained because of that. So it just doesn't motivate me to want to do that.
The right tools. Right.
And it's crazy that women kind of end up on like this one track to where, I'd rather just not. And like I said, women don't understand a lot of this stuff is a trade-off. I don't know if we understand the detriment to it, but yeah, women don't see value in going through anything. And it's kind of like us thinking that we're supposed to live a total peaceful life. We're not supposed to go through anything. And it's almost like the juice isn't worth the squeeze of motherhood and wifehood, which is kind of interesting to me.
And that's why I say therapy and life coaching, that should be a lifestyle
for sure,
as a preventative measure, not
for
an intervention, right? But to Paul's point in question about being 42 and wanting to be married and me wanting to wait till I was of age is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
With time, you get wisdom. And with seeing things and allowing other people's experiences to expose you to things that help you to have better decision-making skills, it saves you a lot of the bullshit that people are going through in their 20s and 30s when they're married young.
True.
You have kids, right?
Yes.
And can I ask how many?
You have 4 kids.
4 kids. Okay. By one woman, just 2. Okay. So you're not with them, I'm guessing. Okay. So I'm not saying had you did it now, you would still be with them, but I know for sure had you did it now, you would, one, have done it differently, or you would have figured out how to do it in a way where you can actually have a family with whoever you're doing it with. That comes with wisdom at the age of your age 47. But at 23 or 30, whether you were thinking family or not, more than likely not.
No, I was thinking family when I had.
Okay.
I was 30 when I started.
Did you get married to either one of them?
Yeah, I did.
You married both of them?
No, the first.
The first, but not the second. Okay, right. So at
It almost looks like she's looking for a reason to discount him. And then it's weird that she's making the assumptions that he wasn't looking for love. He was just out betting chicks, this, that, and the third. It's interesting how she's looking at that, right? Look at that. Weird as hell. The crazy thing is he was actually married and had his child in wedlock. He's relationshiped better than she did. She's looking down on him, but he would, child, look at the tea, honey. Look at it.
47, you don't meet too many men who are procreating with or before marriage. Usually they're in the mindset you just said, I'm 47, I want to travel the world, right? I'm more responsible now because of my irresponsibilities, because experience teaches, words don't. So through your experiences, you learn what to do and what not to do. So men and women become better with age because of their experience. Experience gives you wisdom. Words do not, because they don't teach. So for me as a woman of age, I always want to make sure that I was having my kids in equity, not a deficit, because of my own inability to make good decisions on behalf of them. So at 23 or 30 years old, or maybe even 35, my decision making may have chose a situation that puts my kids in a deficit. Now, your children are blessings, no matter how you look at it, they just are. But they were still born in a deficit because they didn't get the experience of a full household and a full present father. Even if you were on the road playing ball, that's different, knowing that daddy's out there getting it for our household than it is to say he has kids with another woman. So that could possibly be why he can't be here with us in this time or can't be present all the time. Doesn't mean that the kids are doomed. We're just talking about the deficit of something as small as a decision causes. And as we choose,
it's a nuanced situation, right? And not necessarily nuanced. I just think that she's reaching like shit. Because what would be the difference if the dad had to go to work to provide for the family, but was present every day? And if he was on the road traveling for ball and he had a certain type of career, but he was still a father and was still a husband and still came home and his kids saw and felt his presence, you know what I'm saying? It's like the reach is kind of far with that. And it's weird for her to call it like a deficit. If a man is providing, there's no deficit in provision, so to speak. It's weird as hell to me. Yo. Leo, I think you make a great point. She is trying to find an angle to downplay him. That's exactly what she's doing. And he did his relationships better than she did. She 42 years old talking about she looking for a husband who want to have kids while he was 30 and got married and had his kid. Like, come on, sis. Yuck.
But as we become better, we date better, we choose better, we marry better, and guess what we do? We parent better. And if people take their time, then they can really avoid doing time.
Now, what do you say to the women that feel like, okay, I'm on this time clock? Because I know a lot of people, including some of my own family members, that have gotten pregnant and they were like, you know what, girl, I'm 30 something. I'm just going to have it. Like, even if they're married, they're not, I don't feel that it's like you're so happy or anything, but you're like, hey, I'm this age. I'm just going to have this child now because it's what I should be doing. Or you feel like you're on this biological time clock where you're like, okay, oh my God, I'm nervous. I'm getting of age to where I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Am I going to be able to have children? You know? And I feel like women have that pressure. And another thing is, I feel like women have the pressure of, you know, a lot of the times, even for me, when I've been podcasting or I've been out in the world, it's like, why are you single then? As if it's like, you're not shit because you're single. Or, it devalues you. Like, why are you single? Well, maybe I'm single because I know myself, my standards, and what I actually want. So I'm not settling for anything, because a lot of people I know are doing just that. But what do you say to women who feel that pressure? You know, because you're very confident, 42, you're like, I can have kids, I'm going to get married. And I love that energy. Yeah. And I believe it. And I love that energy. But I feel like so many women are in fear and they operate out of this fear. And if you can say anything to help them, like that would be amazing.
Operating out of lack.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, where's your faith? That faith is an action word, right? And so for me, I always use Abraham and Sarah in the Bible. God doesn't, you know, he keeps his promises. He says no request returns void.
Ooh.
Okay. And so Sarah and Abraham made a request for a child. They were up in their 80s. And Sarah got impatient. And she told Abraham, get the maid pregnant.
Hold on. You said they was in their 80s? Both of them?
Yeah.
It's in the Bible. Look
Yeah,
it up.
Bible story. I know
So
this.
Sarah,
I believe
but
the
this is
story.
why faith is an action word. Sarah told Abraham, listen, it ain't gonna happen. Get the maid pregnant. He got the maid pregnant. As soon as he got the maid pregnant,
Sarah
ended
was
up
pregnant. Yeah.
So Sarah told Abraham, guess what? I'm pregnant now, bruh. Maid, she gotta go. So Abraham, being the good husband that he was, because remember, he's been hearkening onto her voice the whole time. He didn't cheat. She gave him permission to do this. He tells the maid she gotta go. God talks to the maid in the desert and says, listen, you don't know who you're pregnant with. Go back. The maid's like, I can't go back. Go back. She comes back. Sarah has her baby. Guess what's in that household? Nothing but conflict. Nothing but conflict. What is my point? My point is I'm not Sarah. I understand that my request ain't returned void.
Ooh.
And I understand, like the Bible says, be anxious for nothing and make your request be known to God. I'm not anxious about when the child or husband is coming. I don't want anything that's not mine. And I say this, Paul, with no pun intended, when we take things that aren't ours, it comes with the expiration date, just like those two beautiful mothers of your kids.
What kind of shit is she talking about, bro? God damn, I think this lady's nuts. Oh my God. Yo. Shout out to Mr. Curlin. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, even notice how her sole focus tends to be the man wasn't, and didn't intend to be there. I bet you that's her type. Absolutely, positively her type. She always kind of like, that's her resting spot. The nigga ain't shit. The nigga ain't shit. Oh, I know my worth. Oh, I know my worth. What the hell? She's a piece of work. Yo.
It's expiration date, but you still have the kids you have to father. I don't want that situation. So I would rather wait for God to deliver what's mine on his time when I am cooked.
The thing is, you can be the perfect woman, and it still kind of comes back to her looking for perfection. And that's the problem with a lot of us in society. We are looking for perfection in another human being. We are all flawed. You're not, no matter how much you get ready, no matter how much you have quote unquote prepared yourself, you do not control other human beings. Humans are going to human. And not to say that there should be an expectation of a man to dog you out, do you wrong, whatever. But you can be the perfect woman and you still can't, you'll never find another perfect person, because you yourself are imperfect. No matter how much ready, no matter how much work you did, yada yada yada. That's what's wrong. She's trying to make sure she is perfect in a lot of ways, or she's ready and she's mentally prepared, and sometimes experience gives you a lot more than inexperience. And I think that's where she's messing up. God, she's crazy.
And not spill raw meat and not ready. And if that means I got to wait till 43 or 44 or call off another wedding, I am okay with that. My obedience is to God, not people.
The problem is, Atari, it's not wanting her to settle. The problem is when people get all of these high expectations and high standards, a lot of times they're not able to meet those high expectations nor standards themselves. It's not settling. When you're dealing with another human being, I'm not telling you to let nobody dog you out, treat you, mistreat you. I'm not saying none of that. But with her, she has a lot of issues with control. She'd rather be a guy's mother than to be his equal. She wants to be a parent to a dude than for a dude to be her mate and somebody on the side of her. She wants to be over the dude. And when she's talking about all this prep and life don't you can do everything right in life. It will not stop people from hurting you. It will not stop people from mistreating you. You can set boundaries and stuff like that, but life dictates. You can't plan life. Life will throw you a curveball so fast. You can't control people. And that's a huge part of her problem. She likes to control people. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. If you got married young, relationships don't always work out. And for her to sit here and act like because she's doing all of this thing now, probability of things working out in her favor. I think if you do some aspects of work, I do think that you learn how to set boundaries. You learn how to stop things from continuing to happen, but you can't prevent. Life will throw you a curveball so fast. You can't prevent stuff. You can't prevent things. It's weird. Nah, if you men need mothers and bosses. Yeah, yo, Atari. Child. This is crazy.
Come on.
I don't live in dogma. And so if I run around here like Sarah, I will mess up and end up with a man who already got the maid pregnant, which means I don't get an opportunity to have my own family, my own husband. I will have to share him. Why? Because it would be at the expense of my disobedience. It happened really quick with Moses. He freed the Israelites from Egypt. God said, I'll take you to the promised land. But guess what? God kept his promise because he took him to the promised land. When Moses got to the promised land, God said, okay, talk to the rock and I'll have water come out. Talk to the rock. Well, Moses had a temper tantrum, kind of like Sarah, got upset, took his rod and hit the rock twice. Hold on. God still kept his promise because although he told him to talk, not hit, water came out that rock. He took Moses to the promised land. But guess what? Moses and everyone who followed him didn't get in. You know why? Because he was disobedient.
Yeah.
So God will always keep his promise and he'll bring you right there. And the moment that you choose not to be obedient after you done went across the Red Sea, you done been in the wilderness for 40 years like Moses and the Israelites. You get to finally where you want to be, Dr. Bryant, at 42, 43. And you mean to tell me when God told you to speak to the rock, i.e. take your time, that you're going to hit the rock? Just because some outside chatter told you that you 42 and you should be married already because you're so successful? Now I'm going to talk to the rock all day long.
Now, y'all notice what she's saying right here. Keep in mind what she is saying right here. Keep in mind. Now, the crazy part is she's talking God and religion and all. Listen to her now. Y'all hear all of this, right? Keep listening.
I'm going to get my water and my promised land. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
And the Lord said.
Amen. Amen. And guess what I'm going to do? What God says. I'm going to have the witnesses witness me, do all of it.
Come on.
And so I could be a testimony and continue to be a vessel for his word to show that we ain't got to be impatient.
Come on.
We do have to be obedient. And
Come
so
on.
faith is.
Y'all hear this? This is so good. Oh my God, it's so juicy. Listen to her. This is so juicy.
If you ask for it, God to do it. And it's not on your time, it's on his. So once you ask for it, let God give you experience that gives you wisdom, that equips you for what you need to be, with who and where you need to be. Because you got too many people that are not only doing time, but their kids are too, and the mothers are too, because neither one of them took their time. So
okay. She said this at like the 32-minute mark, babe. Keep watching. The 32-minute mark. Yeah. Let's keep watching this. Look at this.
Wait for the right time. For the meat, like Paul said, not to be toxic, but to be cooked.
Come on now. Now, let me ask you this. Are you okay with a man who already has children? No. Okay. Why not? Deal breaker for you? Why
because
not?
I want my own family.
And you feel like you cannot have that with a man who already has children?
That is a form of polyamory.
Really? Explain that, please.
Okay. Polyamory doesn't have to do with us all living in a household together and we're all doing the do. Polyamory is outside relationships that I'm okay with. So if I'm in a relationship with Paul, I have to be okay with him having a relationship with the mothers of his children.
Yeah.
I would hope he does,
Yeah.
Right? So although he's not sleeping with them, or we would want to think he's not, let's just take him as being a good man. He's just co-parenting and doing it the right way. Well, when Christmas or holidays come around, or a birthday party or a wedding or graduation, Paul has every right to spend time with his kids. And if the mother is there, I mean, they procreated together. It's not a crime for her to be in the same room as him. That's what co-parenting is. Healthy co-parenting is. If I agree to that, I am now, or I should be attempting to be healthy with these women, right? If I'm going to love him, I love Paul's kids. So now I'm in a polyamory relationship that I'm agreeing to be.
Crazy as a box of two rocks. I can't say it enough. Your situation does not have to be how she is describing it, but she takes one aspect of somebody else's relationship and she runs with that and makes that like the whole it makes it everybody's co-parenting relationships. Now, that being said, nobody should want, if you're a single woman with no kids, you have every right to date a single man with no kids. Men, I will absolutely tell a man, if you don't have any kids and you can find a woman without kids, create your own family. Absolutely. But if you have kids, you probably should be with somebody else with kids. If that, that's the ideal situation. So I'm not saying that as a woman with no kids, she should be with nobody with no kids. I think she should have said that and stopped it there. But to say that it's polyamorous and all this, that, and girl, hush. Silly. Very silly.
Because although you're not sleeping with this woman, we all are a family, whether you want to think of it that way or not. Because if I love this man,
Part-time,
full-time.
because like
Polyamory can be part-time, full-time, but we can polyamory from 2 to 5 p.m. It don't matter what the time frame is. It is what it is. So I am not willing to agree to be in a polyamorous relationship because I am a faithful woman.
Damn.
So I'm not going to have a man outside of him to equal out the playing field because technically I'm at a loss. You get to have 2 other families and I get to have you. And what if I don't want?
What the hell is she talking about, y'all? You get to have 2 other families. What? So, but you see how silly it is? You would make it seem like the man is going to the other baby mama's house. He's at the baby mama's house on the weekends. Like the kids ain't coming to your house. What are you talking about, girl? This girl is girl. I'm not even going to call her a woman. This girl is silly. She's a silly girl. Very silly.
I want to share you on Christmas
or any day.
What if I don't want to share you on your child's birthday? And I'm not saying that's okay. I'm speaking reality. See, people don't want to speak reality. A lot of I've yet to hear a woman who was with a man, even if she has a kid outside of him. Let's say they both have kids outside of each other, who have not said, if it was just us and our kids, it would be much easier.
Absolutely.
And that's even without having baby mama, baby daddy drama. We're talking about the emotion that comes with it. So if I don't want to share you on Monday, January 3rd, because I'm just in my space where I want you. But Lil Paul has a birthday party. And he needs his father.
Yeah.
And I want to support you. So I love y'all. I take you as a package deal. But I don't have any kids. So guess what? You get me 365 days of the year, unless I'm on my speaking tour, or I'm in session healing a client, or I'm here on y'all podcast. And you can even come here with me. You still don't got to share me. So what am I saying is it is.
So she wouldn't be allowed to go to the birthday party? Is that what she's saying? Like if Lil Paul had a little birthday party and the baby mama was throwing a birthday party, you mean to tell me you wouldn't feel comfortable enough to go to your man's child's or your stepchild's birth? Like, what are you talking about, girl? God, she sounds silly as hell. And the mentality is, like I said, she's taking things and running with it. And that's not, most people I know that's in co-parenting relationship, if the father does or the mother does something for the kid, everybody's invited. It's no big deal. It's not that deep. She sounds silly as hell. Silly.
It's an unfair bargain that too many women and men do, because men date women with kids too. And that man may not have kids, and he's also signing up for that. And so as much as people may not want to say it, it definitely creates a wedge between those two people, because this man has already done the most deepest,
intimate
thing you can ever do with another human, which is what? Procreate. Right. See, I can marry you all day long and you can go do that with anyone else. Once I create a child with you, that is your DNA and my DNA. Where else can you mix us to that depth or that level? Where else can you cleave and woove us into a quilt together? We can't even do that in marriage.
Damn, that's deep.
All right. I got a question. Yeah. What's your... Okay, so
like damn.
No, because you hit me with some stuff. I'm like, wow.
You said some things, right?
Yeah.
But like, so now that changes the whole dynamic on who you date.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She's not looking for an older man than her. She's looking for somebody much younger than her. That changes the whole dynamic.
Well, if he's my age with no kids, he's
most men is a red flag your age with no kids.
Someone said that, right? Like, I was dating a man who was 41 and he had no children. Really great guy. And my sister was like, he's a red flag because he has no children at that age. And I said, is he a red flag or is he smart? Because I'm confused. You know, is he smart enough not to procreate with someone that is not really his match or he's in alignment with? Because if he's single now, he probably would have been single with them kids too, still trying to date. So I heard that before. And I was very curious to that because I'm like, he was a really good guy. It just didn't work out. But I was like, I don't see it necessarily as a red flag because it might be a smarter move because I know too many men that are 41, 42 with children and they don't mess with the children, the mother of their children, or if they do and do whatever on the side, okay. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that.
So from my personal experience, right, not from like clinical speaking or a psychology expert, men with no kids of age, like y'all are saying, happen to be selfish.
Yeah.
So men that are late 30s, early 40s, they're selfish. What does that make women who are in the same boat? She hates men. She hates men. She really does. And you know, it would be a difference if you got on here and you spoke your truth. Like I said, the conversation that she had with Cam Newton, I felt like she was right in aspects of that conversation. Absolutely. But the more that I hear this lady talk and the talking points that she is making, she sounds absolutely ridiculous. A man, now, if a man has no kids at 40, I'm gonna definitely be looking at him a little sideways. That's just my personal thing. I would be looking at him sideways, but a woman that gets to a certain age like that too, I am also looking at her sideways. I am also looking at her sideways as well. It's just me. I would be looking at them both sideways. Cheyenne is a piece of work. A piece of work.
Yeah,
nothing they've had to cover their whole life. There's nothing outside themselves they've had to think about or consider.
So is that a red flag?
But she was able to go out and pursue her career, get her degrees, make her money. What if a man wanted to be established in the same ways that she outlined when she first came on this podcast? What if a man wanted to do that for himself? This is the hypocritical shit that I'm talking about. This is the stuff right here. Wow.
A selfish man?
I think so.
No,
That's what
I
I'm saying.
definitely think so.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely think so.
Right.
However, if you get a man of age who does have kids, you would hope that he is a very active father. Him being an active father also comes with him having to be selfish in order to be present with his kids.
Yes.
So there is an aspect that may be a healthy selfishness, where it's like, yo, I may want to eat, sleep, and shit you all day, but I gotta be a father. So there's gonna be a part of me that may look selfish because I gotta put these kids in a priority position somewhere.
For sure.
Right? And wherever they go into those spaces, baby, you can't go.
And the kids are before the woman, you would say?
No.
Mm-mm.
But watch this. So let's just say you and Paul are married and y'all procreate your own little stinkers. You know, I mean, I'm a biblical girl. I'm a Jesus girl. Biblically, the hierarchy goes God, Paul, you, babies.
I told her that.
Babies. But let me tell you why. Men have the honor of God automatically covering them.
Yeah.
Right? Women, we marry into our man's covering. So men gets God's covering, we get a double layer of covering, and the kids get triple layer of covering. Why? Because they're kids, they have no insight.
Ooh.
They need a double layer of protection. However, love that we're going here. If Paul has you and y'all babies, oh, he got her and her babies. Oh, he got her and her babies. I'm just curious on how in the hell was he covering all three women at the same time and all of them kids at the same time.
This is where she keeps losing me, because now it's an ideal situation for all your children to be under one household. To me, that's the ideal situation. That's what we should all strive to, for our kids to be under one household. Cool. Got you. If you end up in a relationship that didn't work out and your child lives in a separate household, and you got somebody else, that relationship is still going to be the husband. It's going to be God, the husband, the wife, the kids, but it's just a different situation dynamics. And so y'all will have to co-parent. But the way she makes it seem like is a man can't do anything for a child that he's not in the same house with. And I think that's absolutely a ridiculous mindset to have. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Look at this.
Let me tell you why. Because covering is spiritual, but it's also physical. How are you able to be present and cover everybody all at the same time if they're not all in one space or under the same roof? collectively together every day, every night. One of these kids ain't getting picked up from school from Papa Paul. What? No, one of these kids, he may not be able to get to the dentist appointment at the expense of another kid because he has to be there for the kid who's in his household. And the child who, y'all child, let's just say y'all live together, is going to be getting the equity of him.
Yes.
Because he's in the house, he's present. How do you think this makes other children feel? They may not be able to articulate it, but they do grow up feeling a little unwanted, even though Dad Paul was trying his best. And I'm not even saying, because you got men who are they are giving everything they got to fatherhood. And they got multiple kids by multiple women.
And it's still tough.
Well, you can't put the blame on the dad. Like let's just speak on that because
let's do that.
Women divorce the men.
Yeah, women file more than men.
So now if you're saying that the kids feel a certain way and we're going to take the criticism of it, well, look, my kids, I didn't divorce your mom.
Yeah.
So it has to be multiple conversations
100%.
as they get older and you try to explain stuff. And it's like, you can't say like, I didn't want to be around you or all that, or I have this new family or all of that. It's like, you got to.
You can't say that?
Now, he was 100,000% correct to check her on this point. 1,000% to correct her on this point, because women do file for the majority of relationships to end. We filed that in the majority. He caught her ass up in that point, and he was wonderful to catch her up on that. If the woman divorces you, we call for divorce faster. What's the percentage? Y'all know is a talking point that was touted throughout this space, but we end the majority of marriages. And you can't say the man didn't want the family and didn't want the kids when men file for divorce less. So he was absolutely correct to call her out on that, because it's a crock of BS.
Oh, you can't tell. So, well, hold on. We can't be honest with our kids now and say, look, baby, your mom divorced me and I have a new family. And I actually love spending time with you and my new family.
Well, yeah, you can.
Wouldn't that be the truth?
That is the truth.
Or is that the hard truth? This is
what you got to be careful with kids.
That's my point. But that's the hard truth. But listen, you can remember, words don't teach, experience does. I don't mean to cut you off. I got to go there for a second. We can tell our child whatever we want to tell them. The experience that we give them is what they learn. You can tell a child every day, I love you, and don't spend no time with them. That child will grow up to feel in love.
And let me say this. My dad has 6 kids, though. My dad has.
Like, she can't tell me.
No. My dad has 6 children,
oh my God,
6 daughters.
We're tagging you in, Paul.
But my dad has 6 daughters. I just want to say this. My dad is a present, wealthy father. He has money. He has means. He's married to my mother.
Yeah.
He was married 2 times before and has 6 children.
Before you.
Before my mom.
Wow.
2 times. He has 6 children. I'm the youngest out of 6.
Wow.
My sister and myself, who are from my mother, who he's been married to the longest, got to see my dad the most. My other sisters have gripes where they're like, damn, I love my dad. He provided for us financially because he's rich. He did this. He came and saw us when he could, and da-da-da-da. But I wasn't growing up in the household every day with my dad.
Because they wanted the true currency of life. You know what that currency is? Time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is a true currency of life. It's not green, and you can't spend it. And you can't even describe time. You know why? Because it's that infinite.
Yeah.
It's that important. Paul, what were you going to say? Because I felt like you had something heavy to say. Come on,
Paul. I don't know.
We were talking about, no, because you were going somewhere good. You were saying that we can't just blame the father. We also have to look at the mother who is filing for divorce. No, you're going somewhere good, because I wanted to talk about that piece because you're on point. And you were saying that when you have a conversation with a child, it can't always be daddy messed up, right? Daddy is the problem, right? You were going down that lane.
Yeah, no,
but let me tell you why I love that you were going there, because a lot.
Paul is freaking tired. Paul is absolutely freaking tired. And I understand why Paul is tired talking to these silly ass women. These are some silly chicks. Now, did homegirl in the all green, when she was talking about her father, and how he had 6 kids and the other sisters felt like they didn't see their father. I think that's a valid point. Like I said, the ideal situation is for all the kids to be under one roof. The ideal situation is that. But we know that sometimes it doesn't work out like that. And the fact that your mom had, well, I don't know if her mom had all her kids with the father, but he was married to her the longest. You still got a chance to live in a certain dynamic where your other siblings didn't go through. So you can't even say anything because you got the chance to experience your father. Like I said, it's an ideal situation. It doesn't always work out like that, though.
A lot of times, because kids.
She got in. She
sorry.
Oh,
I
you were
lost
going
it.
somewhere
You
so
can't do
good.
that.
Because kids grow up when the divorce happens and dad leaves the house, right? And what happens is little boys end up resenting their mother because in a little
No.
boy's mind, yeah, yes, they do. Yes, they do. They end up resenting the mom. You know why? Because in the little boy's mind, if mom would have done right, daddy would have wanted to be here. The only time that a little boy does not resent the mother is if he literally sees his father abusing his mother and he can rationalize why his mom would leave his father. If a child cannot rationalize why you would leave his mother, he has to, they're kids, they have no insight, Paul. They got to blame somebody. And if they don't blame you or mom, guess what they blame? Themselves. Now we're really in a self-hate crisis. Now we have a little kid that grows up and they feel shame because shame and guilt are different. Shame is I'm a bad person. Guilt is I did something wrong. So now we have a child that thinks I'm a bad person because I wasn't good enough to keep mom and dad together. I wasn't good enough for my dad and mom to say, even if I stay for her or for him, we're gonna keep this family together. So there's nothing I did that was good enough to make these two people who are supposed to love me and not drop me, not fumble this family. Kids end up in suicidal ideations over divorce. I have so many kids in my session, teenager, adolescent boys who were 16, who were like, I hate my father for cheating on my mom. I looked in my dad's phone.
Yeah, yo. She talks from a very one-dimensional aspect, and this is the thing that, and this is probably why a lot of men don't go to therapy. If you have a woman, not to say that anybody is right for cheating, nobody's right to cheat, right? But we don't talk about what women do in relationships as far as our emotional manipulation, our own aspects of abuse, how we do shit in a relationship, but the shift only goes to the man cheated. And so everything that I did in a relationship was right because he cheated. Relationships take two every freaking time. Like I said, it's not the fact that a man could cheat, but you could also be a bitch. You could be selfish. You can be battle axe where you always fussing about some shit. You can be a nag. You may not know how to keep a house. You may not cook. You may not be fun to be around. But as long as the man cheat, that negates every messed up thing in relationships that women do. And so when women talk about relationships from a standpoint of a man cheating, we will never talk about where we messed up and what kind of bitches we were in a relationship. And not to say that would even cause a man to cheat. A man cheat on his own. But when a relationship falls apart due to cheating, we will never go back and say, well, I did this wrong in a relationship or I was messed up here. The whole thing goes back to, well, he cheated and so I was done wrong. And we use these things to victimize ourselves and to further victimize ourselves. We're going to be a whole victim. We ain't even going to be a halfway victim. We're going to be a whole victim. So we don't want to talk about the whole aspect of a relationship. When a relationship falls apart, we're only going to go to that one negative aspect to say, well, it's his fault because he did this and he did that, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. You see how it goes? A woman will say, okay, he cheated and he did me wrong. And then they emotionally manipulate the children because children will only see, well, my dad cheated on my mom. And that's the only story that you know. But most people ain't going to go and get the man's side of the story at all. It's just that, well, he cheated. And that's it. And yeah, it gets to be real dirty. So I see why men don't really choose to have a lot of women as therapists or go to therapy at all, because if this is the mindset of the therapist, child.
Knew his password and seen the text message between him and this woman. And now I'm suicidal. And I want to plan to do it in the kitchen so my dad could find me. You know why? So my dad could see the pain that I felt when he ruined our family.
You know what's crazy?
Paul, that is deep.
Yeah, I understand that. That is super deep.
It is.
But like, this is the thing with kids. They're always gonna hear one side of the story when there's a divorce, right? Because they're gonna be in the house every day with the mom, and they can ask questions at any time, and the mom can say whatever. The dad, it's not there every day. And he can't explain his side because there's a side of the story and a dynamic in all of this to where the dad is always going to look, like the dad always get looks at as the bad guy, even though the dad didn't divorce, right? Which happens 90%, a lot of the times.
Well, women
but they
file
never,
more than men. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. But the kids never know the other side of the story because the men don't tell the kids the other side.
No, you know why? It's to what you just said. Because the man in the house to tell his story. But let me backtrack. Hold on. Because see, when I decide at 42 to be a mother,
this is the year?
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. He brings about a good point. The other side of it is, women use our manipulation tactics to gain favor with our children. And so most men ain't gonna talk too negatively about the woman that they laid up and had a baby with. A man will just pretty much leave that stuff alone. But a woman, when we get hurt, we emotionally will destroy some shit. We gonna tear it down. I say bitch ass dudes kind of do that stuff too. But when a man is hurt, men don't, I said we, child, I'm not a man. Men don't go looking to destroy women emotionally in the same way that we look to destroy. When a man hurts us and we got kids, the kids gonna know that your father wasn't shit. He was no good. He was a liar. He was a cheater. He was a dog. He stomped on baby puppies. We're gonna make sure that the child knows that, because we want our children to love us more than they love their fathers. We want our children to kind of lean on us and stuff. And it's emotional warfare, truth be told. Nobody talks about that though. Look at her.
Pregnant?
I was like, did we get an exclusive?
You said
no, I took my IUD out about a month ago so that I can be ready to do it.
Congrats. I
What is
love
that? The eggs?
The IUD is like,
You took the eggs out
no,
and freeze them?
No, the IUD is a birth control method that you.
Atari, it's the thing is, the problem is, it's not about keeping it a secret. The problem is most women ain't gonna tell the side of the story from the dad's perspective. They're only going to tell from one perspective. They're not going to say, well, I messed up here and this is where I was wrong at. Most women are only going to come from, well, he cheated and he ain't shit. He cheated and he ain't shit. It's not going to be, well, I did these things and he cheated, but I also did these things. It's never from that perspective. It's only from the perspective of he cheated and he ain't shit. And that's the problem. That's a huge problem.
Put inside of your vagina.
I wish I had a pillow. I would launch you right at your head.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, I know
the eggs is crazy. But
well,
no.
you freeze the eggs.
Yeah, you do that. But
I didn't know that was what it was called.
No,
I know.
The IUD is a little T that looks like this. It's smaller than this. It goes inside the woman's cervix to stop the sperm from fertilizing the egg. So it goes inside.
You took that out. You say?
I had my doctor take it out so that I no longer have birth control contraceptive inside of me.
That's different. I never heard of that one.
I took it out so that I can get pregnant now.
I never heard of that one.
I never had one, but it's a thing for sure.
No, I never heard of that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying is at 42, when I get pregnant,
which is this year,
right? Manifest it with me, Paul. I love you. When I get pregnant, I at 42 am not leaving my husband. Hold on, because I'm making a commitment not just to him but to these babies. That we will have two people in this house that can tell you their narrative, their story, and you can choose who you want to listen to. You can choose whose story you want to hear. But I want to make sure that I give you everything that I can, which means if I have to sacrifice a little bit in that household to stay in it, if I got to have meetings with daddy to say, listen, we may not want to be here, but we made a commitment to be here. So what we got to do to make sure we healthy so the family's healthy. But let me tell you why I say age is important in wisdom. In my 20s and even in my 30s, I would have been in my feelings because emotions don't cause problems. Feelings do. And I would have acted out of feeling and not commitment, because commitment's not a feeling. It's you doing what you said you was going to do regardless of how you feel. At 42, I can commit. That's that obedience to my promised land. At 20, in my 20s and 30s, guess what? I'd have threw the whole motherfucking towel in and said, you know what? Me and them kids going to be good because I do well. I'm a doctor. I got to support a family and friends. Nigga, we can co-parent.
Come on.
But that's in your 20s and 30s. This is why I'm saying to a person like yourself and other people watching, men and women who have already made those decisions, and they end up being bad decisions, not mistakes, because kids are not mistakes, but bad decisions in the way that you happen to create your kids, the dynamic you put them in. At 42, I understand the power of commitment and sacrifice. At 23, I understood the power of how I feel. That's the difference, Paul. At 23, we going to tear this house up. We ain't tripping off these kids. We going to tear this house up.
Facts.
And we figure it out later. You know we're gonna do that. Call the police. Neighbors, I don't care. What you say? Shit. Come pick these kids up real quick. It's a problem.
So then if she ends up in a relationship to where the guy, a lot of us will say that we didn't know that the guy was going to do this or he was going to be like this or we didn't know that he was going to cheat or, a lot of women have those stories, right? If she ends up with a guy like that, then wouldn't that be kind of weird in her own standards? God forbid she does, because I wouldn't wish it on nobody, but that's such a weird, not saying that she should take away her relationship or depart from her relationship, but if she ended up in a bad way, she wouldn't stay in that. That's so weird that she's sitting here. My gosh, she's crazy.
You know that. But at 42, we giving each other that look that goes, the kids is in this. The kids is. We agree.
Yeah.
Hold on. Once we put little Paul to sleep at night. Now, what the fuck was you talking about?
Yeah.
Then we can have our little rounds, but we also are standing on a square that we both drew. That's called commitment. And we are not going to guarantee each other no perfect marriage. We're not going to guarantee that we even like each other sometimes. But what we are going to commit to and guarantee, we ain't going no fucking where.
Well,
that's one thing that we're supposed to guarantee is that I don't know how life is going to life, but can you promise to be in this life when it life's with me? Yeah. And you can laugh if you want to because he got a problem with vulnerability. See? You got a problem with commitment.
Everything I'm taking everything.
Why does she think that why does she think that she knows this man? She doesn't know this man from, oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm saying, I'm hearing
at 20 and 30, you end up in the situation you're in because people respond from what they feel, not from what they committed to. And if people would take their time getting a sense of self, discovering who the hell they are, so they can know who the heck they got to choose, they will end up in better situations, and so will their offsprings as well. And then we have the real wealth, which is family. And then we can go buy some damn real estate and take the vacations you talking about taking. But until then, we have to focus on the stuff that really is the nucleus, the backbone, and the substance. And I'm gonna sip to that. See, he got commitment problems. He laughing and stuff.
No. You good. You real good. Because all right, so this is how I interpreted what you just said.
Okay.
So at 23, 30, y'all gonna tear the room up, argue, you out of there.
Both of us, not just me, everybody.
So at 23 and 30, them options you had a lot more options. At 42, them options and slimmed up. So yeah, of course you ain't going nowhere.
That ain't it.
Paul. What they say, he cooking, child. He ate with that. Oh my gosh.
You know what?
That's what he just said.
No, that's not what I said.
That's
not what I said.
But I ain't going nowhere.
That's not what I said, but he's making a good point. For some people who get of age,
yeah,
their options can become slim. But I can say this: it's usually the man who gets up in age, and he realizes that his options have become slim. So now he wants to marry after he's already created broken homes, broken houses.
Wait a minute, child. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ladies, do not be fooled by this crazy wench. Do not be fooled. Men have more options the older they get because they have, most are trying to get established and trying to get money. They're still able to procreate without nearly the same risk that if we get pregnant at 42, a man could get a woman pregnant at 42, more than likely a baby will come out healthy. If a woman gets pregnant at 42, she is high risk pregnancy. A man is more stable at 40, in his 40s, with a little bit more wiser. Not to say he don't think with two heads, but he's a little bit more wiser, a little bit more settled down. Men have more options the older they get. Women have less options because men are attracted to looks and youthfulness about women. Women are typically at our most beautiful when we are in our late teens, early 20s. We're at our most beautiful. 30 shit starts to go downhill. Even though I hit my peak at 30 on y'all ass, it still don't matter. But our looks go down the older we get. She is crazy, and her information, the shit that she's spouting out right now, is
utterly ridiculous, and it will definitely, if anybody's listening to her, which I hope y'all are not, she is absolutely ridiculous and just talk. She's talking this boss bit child. Oh my God. Wow. She's ridiculous.
houses, baby mamas, have multiple kids.
Ooh.
Hold on. And he don't got his contract no more. So the money looking a little funny. So he got to make sure that he cashes out while he can and get him the closest thing to what he considers a modern day baddie, who is nowhere in comparison to the old school baddies he used to be able to get when he was in his prime. Now, for women who are
If a man, let me just play the video. What is she talking about?
educated, women who are still beautiful, women who are still keeping themselves
That's
up
a good one.
physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they just get better with time. And they become a demand, not just only for older men, but for the younger men.
Okay, I'll take like Marjorie Harvey. Marjorie Harvey to me is still a baddie at an older age. But Marjorie Harvey, in comparison to Lori, before we saw how much hoeing she was doing on this internet, you weren't going to be able to compare the two. They shouldn't even want to be in the same lane. Marjorie Harvey is probably still desired by a lot of men. Gotcha. Most women aren't that. We can't even speak from that, not with the way our obesity rate is. And to be honest, it's hard as hell to be a baddie in old age. Most women aren't gonna get there. Most women ain't gonna get there. Everybody getting all these surgeries, doing Botox, this, that, and the third. Yeah, most women ain't gonna get there. If you get old and you're 40s and you still looking to have children, baby, that biological clock so goddamn loud is keeping her up at night. No, ma'am. Don't follow this mentality. Men are attracted to youthfulness 10 times out of 10. And to say that you think that you would be able to pull men like you were in your late 20s, mid 20s or something, and compared to your 40s, you sound crazy as hell. Crazy, foolish. It doesn't work like that. Biology doesn't make it work like that. It doesn't work like that. Be fucking for real.
And so the women who keep themselves up in that capacity actually become optioned, actually end up having more of abundance of options than they did when they were young. And there are also the women that the men who are their age, like my age, no, they can't obtain, let alone sustain. And so they will stay in their lane. They will stay in their lane because they understand, hold on, she was the woman I wanted when I was younger and couldn't obtain. I damn sure can't do it now that she has become cooked versus still meat. That's
the thing is, most women, whoo, child. He couldn't get her when she was young, and now he really, really wants her while she's old. Got all these miles and shit on her. Then fucked every dick known to mankind, but he wants her so bad and he can't get her. She sounds ridiculous. This mentality is ridiculous, and it's not real life. Girl, be for real.
It's marinated in the freezer. And that's the truth of it. And if women understood their value, right? As long as they just upkeep their value, right? Which is internal and external, then they would stop opting out early on. They would realize, no, my options start to build and expand as I build and expand.
That's a complete lie. A complete lie. A complete lie.
I agree.
And I think men as well. I feel like if men understood their value, then they would not be raw dogging. They would not be sharing their semen with just any women if they understood their value.
Come on.
Those are things that they would double think and triple think.
Y'all see the way Paul looking at her? Look at how Paul looking at her. Look at his face, y'all. He looking at her like this, bitch. Look at this shit.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, I said, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said, the young guy that I was dating for 5 years off and on, I said he had no kids. He was young, very successful, in his field. I said, and what I loved most about him was he showed his responsibility, because in our intimate settings, I never, ever one time had to say, can you put a rubber on?
Let's rewind that back. She ain't been a fast track. No, ma'am. Let's rewind that back. Matter of fact, let me put this on regular speed, child. She ain't finna skip past that. She ain't finna skip past that at all. Let's rewind that back. 55. Let's start right here.
That's
Mhm.
marinated in the freezer. And that's the truth of it. And if women understood their value, right? As long as they just upkeep their value,
Yes.
right? Which is internal and external, then they would stop opting out early on. They would realize, no, my options start to build and expand as
Yeah.
I build and expand.
I agree.
And I think men as well. I feel like if men understood their value, then they would not be raw dogging. They would not be sharing their semen with just any women if they understood their value.
Come on.
Those are things that they would double think and triple think.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, I said, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said, the young guy that I was dating for 5 years off and on, I said he had no kids. He was young, very successful, no, in his field. I said, and what I loved most about him was he showed his responsibility, because in our intimate settings, I never, ever one time had to say, can you put a rubber on? Can you put on a contraceptive? I never had to say that, because in his mind, he didn't want to procreate before marriage. He didn't want to be raw dogging. He didn't want to, even though we might have had 4 or 5 years together and he was in love with me, he was being responsible. And that was a strong act of self-love.
She dated a dude for 5 years off and on. 5 years. And that dude did not take that rubber off. She never had to ask him. What does that say to y'all? I'm going to tell you what it says to me. If a dude dated you that long for 5 years and he never asked to take that rubber off, that dude absolutely positively did not want to get your ass pregnant. That dude did not absolutely positively want to be with you. That dude looked at you like a bust down. You were a side chick. Ain't no man in America gonna deal with a woman 5 years off and on and not want to feel that that vagina in its natural state. Be freaking for real, girl. He absolutely didn't want to risk it. You're absolutely right, Leo. He absolutely didn't want to risk it. And if she was on birth control, so them IUDs, I think they last like 5 years, 3 to 5 years or so. If I'm not mistaken, I never had one. But if I'm not mistaken, I think they last for like a long time. Hell, I think they even last like a decade. I think I've heard of them lasting for, I don't know. But if she was on that type of birth control and homeboy was still like absolutely not, girl, stop lying to these people. That man ain't want you like that. Stop lying to these people. He didn't take the rubber off in 5 years, bro. 5? But he was absolutely in love with her. Let me tell y'all, see, men don't fall in love with condom sex. Men don't fall in love with condom sex. Don't tell nobody I told y'all. She is a goddamn lie. Just a liar. Look at her. 5 years and he didn't want to take the rubber off. And she's saying that he was being so responsible and she's never had to question. I would bet my left foot that she asked him to take the rubber off and he said no. I would bet my left foot that she asked him to. And he said absolutely not. I would bet my left foot. She was probably begging him to take the rubber off. And he was like, I'm not ready for any kids right now. I'm not ready for that right now. He absolutely wanted to make sure he didn't get her ass pregnant.
Because what he was saying is that, wait, it's not just your value, Shy, and you want me to cover up, not just because babies, but obviously STDs, but I know my value as a man.
Matter of fact, if they had this conversation and he was always reaching for a rubber, then she was the one asking, why are you always putting on a condom if it's just me and you? If you're so in love with me, why are you always putting on this condom? Why are you always wearing a raincoat in this coat? Why are you always putting on a condom? If it was a conversation about it, it definitely stemmed from her toward him and not the opposite way around. Be for real, girl. Oh my God. Usually a man, like, if a man is strapping up, he doesn't want a baby, yada yada yada. If he's strapping up and you ain't had no question about it, you ain't gonna question it. You'll just be like, we always use protection. It ain't gonna be no question about it. If he's actually having to explain why, if he's having to explain why he's protecting himself, that's because that was a question from you and you wanted to know why. Be for real.
So you ain't got to ask me to cover up because I'm not going in nothing raw. That is a man who loves himself. There's no man who loves himself and will allow himself to be at the highest risk of STDs when we have HIV and other diseases that are not curable, that are at an all-time high and always have been. That is a self-love deficit. And we have that a lot in our community. That is a problem. And I'm not going to coddle bad decisions when it comes to things that dissipate and marginalize our community even more than it already is. Those are real conversations we need to have. Men need to know that their penis is just as valuable as a woman's private area.
Absolutely.
And they need to act as such. They need to act as such.
I agree with that. That's deep.
Paul, I hope Paul. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Not to say that, what she just said wasn't a valid point about men valuing their D more. Yeah, everybody should value their bodies. Absolutely, positively. Yeah. But if a man is saying that he won't raw dog you due to risk for AIDS and HIV and then what you was doing, girl? Why didn't he trust you enough? Because it seems like it didn't seem like anything. He didn't trust you to go into you raw. He was not sure what you had going on the side. If you was out here doing what you was doing. Oh, I love a good old virtuous woman. Look at her.
I have a question. So when you are talking about, being committed, right? Like, so for instance, my parents been married for 50 years.
Wow.
My sister's been married for 30 years. So I come from a background of
But you have no
marriage.
kids.
I have no children.
Okay.
I have 5 sisters. I'm the youngest, and all my sisters are married. They all have children. So I come from a family of marriage.
Yeah.
And my older sister always told me, she's like, her and her husband is successful, multimillionaires, successful, both
Nice.
very attractive. Same with my parents.
Nice.
And, my sister would always say the difference between myself and my husband and everyone else is that we choose each other every day. That's the people ask me, how did you get this man to commit to you? How did I get you to commit to me? It's because we made a conscious decision, and they got married at 23. So it wasn't out of any desperation to make a conscious decision. They were blessed. But I asked that because I feel like people have some confusion where it's like, where is the line drawn though? Because I can say I'm going to choose you every day, right? And you can choose me, but you could be cheating on me. Yeah. You can have this going on. You can do this. So when I make that commitment, even in older age or whatever the case may be, how can people decipher like, this is commitment, but this is where I should walk away?
I think anytime there's abuse, right, or the relationship is causing an impairment to where you can no longer function, right, and the normalcy of the house is starting to be to the point where it's so dysfunctional. You have a broken family, and people are just not able to come to a reasonable meeting point for the collective. Then it is time to walk away. Yeah, definitely. But I don't think it's time to walk away because we have a disagreement, right? Because I don't like you right now, or because you're doing shit that I just thought you would never do, and now we're here. Yeah, I think those are all just like spaces for y'all to do what the Bible says. It says, "Love your partner by knowledge of them." I just got to learn the newness of you, and I think that people need to stop coming into relationships expecting people not to change. Paul made a good point earlier. He said, I fell in love with that woman. Then the child come and things change so much. It's like, what do I do now? Well, you got to learn to fall in love with the new woman who's a mama now, who's trying to balance these two
Child. Okay.
different roles. And you got to be able to communicate with her. And she has to be able to hold a safe space for that man to communicate how he really feels without personalizing it. So they can have a real conversation around what is the reshaping of this relationship that's needed. Because I try to get people to see, because I love marriage. I am like so pro marriage and so pro love that when my clients come in my session talking about divorce, I say, listen, I got a question. Do we really want a divorce, or does this marriage just need to be reshaped? Can we just reprogram it? Can we reshape it? Because everything doesn't need to be divorced and broken and split.
Good point there. Very true. Let's go.
Damn.
Can I ask you something? You know, you talk to married couples, you talk to people in relationships, and you hear the dysfunction in all of it. Why do you want to get married and have kids now?
Paul, I love you for that. I know you're serious because that's a good question. No, because
because you hear negative all day,
right?
And like, why?
That's a real question. That's why I told you earlier. I'm confused about myself
because I see people come in my office, and because I'm not a tell me more doctor, I'm not a thank you for your money, figure it out, just come back. No, we work in my sessions. We work. And because I see them come in my office so hopeless, so despaired, so broken, so hurt, so confused, so resentful toward each other, right? And then I see them go from that.
This is what you want.
I see them go from that with the right tools, with the right guidance, with the right support, learn how to love themselves, how to get out of their own way, how to become healthier within themselves, how to identify the little boy and the little girl in them who is actually in that marriage and not the adult in them, and realize, I thought I just loved you. I actually like you. Now that I know you past your trauma, now that I know you past the little girl in you who's abandoned and broken that I was in a relationship with. For the first time in 10 years, 15 years, I'm meeting the man in you. See, the little boy in you couldn't cover me, but the man in you can learn how. The little boy in you kept calling on me to be your mama, to atone for the things you didn't get from her. I'm here to be your woman. And every time I came mommy you mad at me. You resentful toward me.
Ooh, damn.
But I didn't do that. I'm just here to love you. You can cry on my shoulder, but I can't mommy you. So I had to tell my client, literally 2 days ago, I had to say, listen, the reason why you're saying this woman doesn't have the capacity to do the things that you want is because you want her to mommy you. You got two options, bro. You either go back and try to get it from where you didn't get it from. Good luck. Or you surrender and you realize I'm never going to get it.
Yeah.
So I got.
You surrender or you never gonna get it. This lady hates men, yo. She hates them. Oh my God. Oh, she's a wild girl.
I got to heal that little boy in me, and I got to move forward without getting it. And I got to figure out how I'm going to supply that for myself, Paul, because I told him the reason why this woman doesn't have the capacity is because if she did, God knew she would enable that little boy in you. But her not having it is dissipating your anxious attachment and your codependency. And God has to strip you of what he doesn't no longer need you to have if it doesn't serve you.
I mean, this is the thing. I hear you, Doc, but like, as a man, like when you telling them, the lady that he wants you to mommy him, that's your first example.
Which
growing
one?
up,
Mom?
your mom,
yeah,
of how to be treated,
come on,
to be loved,
come on,
how to be loved.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he want that? You know what I'm saying?
100%, 100%.
And then y'all call y'all man daddy. So
Yeah.
what we talking about here?
100%. Yeah.
Like, so don't
I'm
try
crying.
to convince him to not want that mommy feel. Like, that's the first form of love as a boy you feel. So like, don't discourage that. You know, I feel like that should be more encouraged. Like a man wants that. This is the
A man wants it until he doesn't. If you do too much mommying in the relationship, it will cause a man to lose attraction for you. Your role as a woman should never want to be a mama to a man, or I would say, uh, like getting a man to take his medicine or some shit. You can mention that. You don't have to keep nagging a man. That the last thing you should do is want to be a man's mama. You should want a man to be the protector, provider, and you should want him in a certain position. If you get to doing too much mommying, that man gonna leave your ass for somebody he can. Men don't want to fuck their mothers. Well, Dr. Sigmund Freud. Never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna get into that. But men don't want to fuck their mothers. Don't mommy your man. Don't. It doesn't work out long term at all. And I don't agree with Paul in that aspect of, men want a woman to be nurturing, but men don't want to be with their mothers. Men don't want to deal with their mom. Men, like, some women like their moms, but men don't want to be with their moms. So I don't think that's a good point at all.
the first form and the purest form of love that you ever gonna get as a like you ever gonna get. A woman gonna come be your girlfriend, your wife, and leave you. Most black moms, that's the as a black man growing up here, that's the purest form of love. So like
That's the
why-
purest form
a
of
lo-
love
that I'm ever not ever had.
if it
It's
was
from my
healthy.
mom.
But if it was dysfunctional, hold
Well-
on, and slightly abusive, abuse is not just
That's love too.
wait, the abuse
What?
is love
Yeah,
too.
abuse is love. I like because I come from old school. My mom whooped me. That's called abuse, right?
No,
Okay.
no, no,
That-
no,
that-
no,
that's abuse.
no. Well, so I don't agree. Okay, I'm not a gentle parent, so I believe in
Yeah.
physical discipline, meaning spanking.
That's whooped.
And I call
That's
whoopings.
abuse.
No, it's not. So
That's abuse.
so it's subjective. For some people, you're right, they do consider that abuse. For some folks like myself, well, I don't consider my ass whoopings I got abused. I don't know if you did. I wasn't an abused
I
child.
mean, how we interpret it today. That's
No, you
Yeah.
have some parents. I'm a parent who has no problem.
He is absolutely right. If you whooped your child's ass out in public, your ass could go to jail for that. He's absolutely right. It's considered abuse nowadays. We still believe in whooping ass, but yeah, it's considered abuse. If we being honest about it, your ass can go to jail for whooping your child's ass in the middle of the street. You can go to jail for it. So semantics. She know what he meant.
Problem with powing on the hand, pow, whooping ass. I'm not abusing my child. As the Bible says, an undisciplined child is an unloved child.
You
I
have
still
kids?
feel loved at 42
You have
because I got
kids?
my ass whipped.
You said as a parent.
No, I'm saying as a parent,
That's what you would do.
yeah, what I would do, yes, and that's
Oh,
what I
okay.
received,
Okay.
and because I see the results of myself,
Yeah.
right? I know that
get it.
it worked. But my point of saying is that if a mother is abusive, and I love you saying that is the purest form of love that man has got, you're right. And if that man's purest form of love was at the hands of an abusive mother, then what kind of woman you think that man is choosing? I'm listening. No, that's a question.
I
boss.
mean, that is a
What
question.
kind of woman is he choosing? Let me go further. If that mother, right, didn't know how to love her son, but she gave her all, but there was a huge love deficit. Hold on. He's choosing a woman who's what? Emotionally unavailable.
Mm,
So what happened was this young man chose a woman
mm.
who he loves so much, but she's emotionally unavailable. And when I asked him, well, your mom had to be emotionally unavailable, and you want her to mommy you and give you what you didn't get, but this woman is not there to do that. And you're already saying she can't. So she can't conform ever enough to do that for you. You know what he did? He put his head down on my desk and he cried like a baby. The little boy in him just wept.
I ain't gonna lie, she probably got off to that shit. She probably likes to see men cry and she probably gets off to making sure a man is broken down all the way down. That's the vibe. Like, girl, be for real.
And I had to tell the girlfriend, I whispered to her, I don't want him to hear me say it. I said, hug him. Because I knew that's what he needed.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
But he was in a relationship with who? His mama, who could never hug him, who was emotionally unavailable.
Mhm.
So let me tell you what we do. We set up feeding stations in our life at all ages. Okay. And the feeding stations that we set up are the feeding stations that we've learned as a kid that is either survival or thriving. And we feed on what's normal to us. It's called baseline. And if all I know is abuse, then I'm going to set up abusive feeding stations in all my relationships because I need that normal baseline for me to function, even if it's dysfunctional. So we have to look at, well, what's your baseline? What is your norm? Where did you learn the norm? Did you learn it from dad, mom? Did you learn it from a group home? Did you learn it from someone who was sexually abusing you? Is that why you're promiscuous? Because for you, sexual abuse made you feel validated. It made you feel like you actually were good enough, but you didn't feel that anywhere else. So now you're promiscuous and you have no agency over your body because for you, that's the only way that you're fed. We got to look at those things. So for a man or even a woman, yes, you're right. Women should be nurturing and loving and submitting to their man. Absolutely. But the way we love y'all is different than the way we would mommy our sons. It shows up different. It shows up different.
It should show up different for sure. It should.
And the beauty of it is you and your wife have no limit on your debt, but your wife and her son do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so the depth that you can have with this woman, if she can be your woman and not your mama, is unlimited. But when she goes into mama mode, there's automatic limits and barriers that come in that fuck up the relationship. Because a mother and son relationship is unconditional love, but there's limits. There's boundaries to keep that relationship healthy.
Yeah.
What's your situation right now?
What you mean situation?
Like,
Happy?
You got a man?
I'm dating. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Single but dating?
I am
Something serious
dating.
more than other?
No, just dating.
We gotta change because she's therapying us.
Yeah.
We gotta make
There you
this
go,
about
Paul.
her now.
You're right. You kind of therapizing us.
Yeah.
Paul's like, I want my woman to mommy me. Yeah.
Hold on, like, hold on, what's going on with you? This is about you. You just flipped the script on us. We over here.
Reverse Uno.
Man, you sure did.
But it was good. It was insightful.
No, we need to find out about what's going on with her. She dating, single.
Dating.
What do that entail for a 42-year-old?
Y'all, this is the part where I think this is the part where I was waiting on for the whole interview. This is where it's about to get good. Listen.
Dating,
but single.
enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many are you dating right now?
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone, but I have one guy that I have dated off and on for 5 years.
We got her.
So she's in a situationship with a guy that she's been dating off and on for 5 years. Fun.
Dated for 5 years off and on.
So you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know what's going on now. I'm about to, we gonna take this sheet clothing off.
I have the wolf teeth going out. No, we have
was somebody's work for 5 years.
We have.
Paul is about to read her down. To sit over here and be like 5 years off and on. I was the boss. Listen, watch this. Watch it. Oh shit.
I've been each other's companion for 5 years. And yeah, I have spent the block for 5 years. And it's the truth. And he doesn't like it. He's absolutely correct. He feels like I haven't provided.
Oh, your work.
We working together.
Okay.
We working together.
But you keeping them at bay. or is he keeping you at
He
bay?
wants he wants a relationship. He
And
wants to
you
be
don't.
committed.
You just like the sex.
No,
Oh,
It's getting weird. It's getting weird. If a guy is dealing with you for 5 years off and on, and you're saying that you're spinning the block, that means that that guy does not want to be committed to you. He does not want child. And all you have to do is let a person talk themselves into their own traps. Listen to this shit. Listen.
Let's keep it 100. How you keep somebody for 5 years? That's like for real. You can't keep nobody at a distance for 5 years. I ain't never done no shit like that.
I am not vitamin D deficient,
No,
so
no,
everything is good in that department.
No. He
wants
has
a
kept him at bay. She
relationship.
done kept him on the side until she figured out if it's something better. I see where this
He-
is going.
He just has some emotional maturity that he had to do. We're 9 years apart. He's 9 years younger than me, and so we both had to work through things, but he's had to work on his emotions and his intense insecurities around being in a
And
relationship.
you've been waiting.
So she's been letting somebody who is emotionally immature, insecure, she is still allowing him to hit. They not committed to each other, and yet she is still going back for 5 years. And this is the guy who won't take the rubber off. Did y'all catch that? The guy who won't take the rubber off, emotionally immature and is insecure and emotionally immature, won't take the rubber off, but she's still going back for 5 years. What is that man selling? Because she done bought it, baby. How does that work?
Waiting on it. Like what's the problem? Why y'all not together?
Just because of that,
So you waiting on that?
No, I'm not waiting on it, and I don't have him waiting.
So the D is good.
Oh,
Let's keep it. I mean, that's
No, Paul is absolutely right to ask her these questions, because these are absolutely valid questions. Why are you there for a man that isn't, if he's emotionally immature and you've done all this work, then, and you said that y'all both have had to done work, then you should be at a point. If you're 9 years older, then you kind of got him beat. You got more wisdom than him, right? Why are you there? Is it just the D? Like, talk about it, sis.
it's like, dude, let's
he
keep
put
it
on
100.
his red pajamas and feel like he's supposed to get spicy
This
tonight.
is clear.
You see how she's trying to get out of that shit so fast. You see her manipulation right then? Did y'all see that? She gonna throw out a little diss him a little bit because she trying to get from out. Their goddamn seat got hot, baby. Cheyenne sweating over there, baby.
This is clear.
Oh my god!
I know her. She from Long Beach.
I'm
don't try to come
You
with
have
the
a problem.
suit jacket,
Yeah,
the
man,
boots. She still and
He telling her she's still a bust down, yo. Listen to this dude. Oh my god.
the glow.
You know what I mean?
You still from Long
Yeah,
Beach. I'm from Inglewood. I can see that.
I am from San Pedro, a small
Man,
community in the
same
city of Los
thing.
Angeles.
I can
Okay.
see through all of that.
Yes, he has great qualities.
Mhm.
He does well in all that he does with me. He just
That ain't
emotionally
what I asked you.
is.
I asked you about his job and all that.
He does well in all areas.
What's
Okay, she
going on?
answered that. He
No,
does
she
well in
did.
all areas.
Emotionally,
I don't know. That's a broad question. What all
Paul,
areas?
you're a
What?
man, so you answer this question.
I answered.
Emotionally, he goes back and forth from I love you, I want to be with you, I'm mad because you won't be with me, you won't commit to me. And then his insecurities get the best of him. And it's like, I want you, but I'm not sure if I deserve you. I'm not sure that I can facilitate.
Yo. Let me explain something to any woman that is here listening. Let me explain this to you. If a man wants you, and he has an opportunity to be with you, he is never going to offer you any excuses as to why he can't. Love is not complicated. If a man wants to be with you, he is never going to talk himself as out of why he shouldn't be with you, more so than he's trying to figure out how to make that shit work. She is speaking bullshit. That dude does not want to be with her, because if he wanted to be with her, he would try to make that happen. If she's saying that she is spinning the block, then that man has done nothing but offer her excuses as to why, and she is not smart enough to move on and go on about her business. If he's saying he can't be with her because he ain't making enough money, he can't be with her because his car is not. I don't know what he's telling her. But what he's telling her, no, actually, I do know what he's telling her. He's telling her that he does not want to be with her, but he still wants to fuck. That's exactly what he's telling her. That man does not want to be with her. The fact that she is a calling herself a certified specialist, this, that, and the third. This lady is in a situationship trying to put a bow on that shit. Girl, you in a situationship and that man don't want you. When a man wants you, he is not going to talk himself out of it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Men are certain when they want something and they have an opportunity to get it, they're not going to let that opportunity pass them by. Be serious, lady. Girl is crazy.
Facilitate you, I'm not sure that I can be with you. So when I say emotionally instability, it's like him wanting to be with me is concrete. That's not unstable. His emotions in the relationship are just unstable, to where as a man, you gotta get vertical within yourself.
So then the question would come, why are you dealing with him if he's got all of these emotional problems, or if he was wanting to be with you, if that's concrete? If a man wants to be with you and that's concrete, and she's trying to walk this shit back, it's too late. She didn't already let it come out of her mouth. She can't walk it back. If he wants to be with you, he's gonna try to be with you. He's not gonna go from a stable and or her saying that that's stable emotionally, that he wants to be with her, or that's concrete. It's not concrete if he's actually tried to talk himself out of it. Be for real, girl. You sound crazy. Listen to this shit.
Before you can be in a
Dog, you
relationship.
good with these
And
words.
I am.
You good with these words.
Listen,
Because
but
you
let me
giving
say
all
this.
these people advice.
Let me say this, Paul.
This
He has every right to feel like what I've been doing as far as being in a relationship with him when I want to and not is not something that gives him stability.
If you keep running back and forth between you wanting to be with him and you don't want to be with him, truth be told, you want to be with him, but he is not doing everything right. And so as opposed to having all of these standards and doing the right thing by yourself and just not dealing with him, you're choosing to keep going back and forth with these situationships. But like I said, she's trying to package this shit up in a bow. And if y'all notice how Paul Pierce is about to rip her head off, his co-host was like, oh shit is about to hit the fan. Paul, take it away, buddy.
However, I don't want to commit to a relationship with a man who I feel emotionally is not in a place of being able to be in a healthy relationship.
But she doesn't want to commit to a man who is in this space, but she will give her body to. She done came off the what-you-call-it. So then if you done came off the IUD, sperm don't come through no condoms, do it? If he's always protecting himself, sperm doesn't come through. If he's wearing a rubber, you can't get, you ain't like the pregnancy that it's like 99.9.5%, something like that, right? Exposed. Look at her.
So why are you messing with him? Why are you playing mental games with him?
I'm not playing mental
That's
games with
mental
him.
games.
It's not mental games.
Why
It's
you
all
still-
transparency.
Why is it still sex involved?
How do you
Why
know
is
we
it-
sexing? We could just be having a
Cause you from Long Beach, I know.
Oh my God.
You can't play me.
We
I'm
could
from
not be doing
the
the
wood.
do.
I know what's going on.
But let me say this: it is transparent. He understands. I understand. I understand what he wants. He understands why I don't want to commit at this moment with him, which is the emotional piece that him and I talk about openly. I support him in it. I hold space for him in it. He's, we talked about it intensively, and he understands it. And he's
come here.
He understands it. And so this is another thing. You ever have a homegirl and she's in a situationship and she's like, oh my gosh, why won't he just leave me alone? Why won't he leave me alone? Why won't he just go on about his business? Why does he keep coming back? If he doesn't want to be with me, he keeps coming back, but he says he doesn't want to be with me. And what I want to talk to women about is emotional vagina, right? Usually, if you having sex with a person for a long period of time, your emotions tend to be more tied to that situation, especially if that man has not committed. Your emotions tend to be more tied to those situations than his, right? Men will not let go of emotional vagina. Men likes that emotional pee. They want that pee to be crying, writing, happy, sad, emotional. And if it's emotional, emotional pussy make the pussy get wetter. It makes it wetter. It does. And so ain't no man finna sit over there. If he been dealing with you off and on for 5 years, he ain't gonna stop dealing with you because he knows that he is allowed to continue to have sex and bed others and deal with people that he actually wants to deal with because he's looking for the bigger, better deal or the more submissive, sweet deal. Let's go. Well, I gotta place y'all on mute real quick. Hold on. Okay, let's go.
Sit. All right, let him off the leash. Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh,
come
shit.
here.
Well, you
Sit.
know what? If that's what I'm
Man,
doing, I'll say this and people going to be mad. I'm okay. If I'm doing what Paul said,
Come here.
I'd much rather be the one walking you at the dog park than the one on the leash, if that's true.
That's exactly.
So that means,
Come on.
to my point, at 42, I'm not opt out.
Jackie Rob.
We are not opt out. Okay, we have options, and we are not on the leash. We can actually.
So she's trying to flip this around and make it seem like she's the one with all the options while a guy that's 9 years older than you has you in a situationship. He can call and hit that pussy whenever he wants and then go back to doing whatever he's doing without any commitment, without having to be tied to you. But transparency is what we have, and we have this transparency, and so we can see through each other. And then you're a damn fool because he's able to tell you that he's fucking whoever he wants to fuck. He's telling you you can go whoever and fuck whoever you want to fuck, and we just don't have to have a commitment, and we're just free to do what we want to do without any commitment. And this is the best thing ever. But I want to be married and I want to have children, but I have the ups in this situationship. It's laughable. No, it's not laughable. It's sad. It's sad that she's 42 years old with this fucking mentality.
Actually be the one holding the leash. It's all about your standards. It's all about you understanding who you are and you standing in and on your square and you doubling down on that. Period. There's men out there who will show up in any capacity we want. We don't have to settle. And we don't have to settle at a certain time.
So why is she settling for a situationship? Why is she settling for a man that's emotionally unstable? Why is she steady spinning a block for somebody who won't even take the rubber off? So she said, child, please.
We can do what we want. Because I tell you one thing I'm not doing. I ain't doing time, but I ain't spending a whole lot of time with who I want, when I want. And both of us are enjoying it, getting what we want.
Come on.
Y'all can't be just taking too long when y'all cook. Y'all gotta start making some decisions around here. Y'all gotta start making some final decisions. This is the final round of Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Shoot,
so who knows?
Maybe
at the end of this year it'll be.
Let me ask you something, because this is always, and I ain't asked this yet. What percentage is sex in a relationship?
You mean based on studies or me?
No, no, no. I'm asking you and I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
Like, all right, what percentage of the relationship, like, because this is the thing, you could be with somebody like you know he'll die for you.
Mm,
He just everything. Like you trust everything that he'll stand in front of the bullet for you.
yeah.
All of that. You'll trust that this man will be by your dying bed. I'm talking about like thick and thin. But the moment he step out on that end of it, it's over.
Well, I'm a Jesus girl. The Bible says there's two permissible reasons for divorce. One is what you describe, which is called infidelity, and the other one is unfaithfulness.
That's the
Look up
same.
that scripture.
Ain't
So
that the
what
same?
I'm saying is,
So what percentage is sex in a relationship?
for me personally,
90?
because I'm not into casual sex. So a
No,
part
you're
of
in
how,
the relationship is
yeah, I'm
what I'm
into it.
saying.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
She's not into casual sex, but she's dealing with somebody.
because I'm not into casual sex, part of how I connect and express my love is also through the act of making love. And it's also through allowing my husband to use my body as a vessel for his satisfaction. See, a lot of women have a problem with that. And I'm not knocking them, they
She
do.
good.
But what I'm
Using them as a vessel for his satisfaction, like she is Miss Seeley and that is Mr. And he can just get on top of her and do her business. What did the late great Alan Roger Curry teach us if he didn't teach us shit else? He taught us that women love sex. Women love good sex. Why are you acting like you wouldn't want this? Oh my God. This lady is insane. She is insane.
saying is for me, but that's a love language for me. So for me, like,
Mhm.
right, if my husband is saying, in the morning, I just want a quickie before I go to work. I don't take it as he's getting a quickie because he's using me. He doesn't love me. I take it as, oh my God, like I'm being used by my husband. He's
Or a
using my
vessel.
body as a vessel to
Woo.
satisfy him. So for me, I'm going, I want you to want me for a quickie, for a longie, for an in betweenie, whatever it is, because now I'm feeling needed by you, loved by you, nurtured by you, and I'm being a vessel for you,
Mm.
right? So
Mm.
my thing is, if he's coming to me all day long, and I've had to tell a client this, if he's coming to me all day long, then that should never be a defining factor whether he
Mm.
cheats or not. That's a character flaw. However, I'm also not putting my husband in the position to feel like, wait a minute, I'm in a deficit because all I'm doing is trying to use my wife, who should be a vessel for me, and I don't even have access to that. So I'm an access woman. My husband accessing my body is also a love language for me. So the more that he accesses me and has his way with me, the more I'm in love and feeling loved by him. But
Mm.
I'm also not a fatherless girl. I've had a father in my life, not just present.
This girl is absolutely crazy. The fact that she's making it seem like, um, at a certain point, as women age, like let's say we go through menopause or whatever, we tend to want sex like way more at a certain point. Um, and it's supposed to balance out somewhere down the line. When it's, when your bodies are right, it'll balance out down the line. But to make it seem like the man is just using her as a vessel and he's using her, and it, like, the language in that alone sounds crazy as hell. Like, wow. She sounds crazy.
But present, having conversations with me that men should be having with their daughters. When I first got engaged, he was very clear. Listen, don't deny him. If he's leaving to go somewhere, offer it up. Make sure that he knows that he has access to it. He said, unless it's abuse or something of that sort, submit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
And so I was told that by a man who loved me, right? Who never took advantage of me. So his word is bond. And when I've been in relationships, I've been engaged twice. That's one thing that I remember my fiance saying. He was like, one thing I got to say about you, Shy. He's like, no matter what we went through or disagreed with or argued about, he's like, you never denied me sex and you never played around with trying to puppet me with that. And it wasn't, again, because I want to keep him from cheating, because you can't control a motherfucker for doing what they gonna do no matter what you doing.
Period.
Period.
Mhm.
It's, I feel loved when you use me as a vessel. I feel like, you know
I
what?
love it. No, this is game. I'm hearing.
No, that's
No, this
real.
is game. I like this
Yeah.
game you giving
I love
out.
that. And
Right?
I feel the same
but
way.
but women
Yeah.
have to also, and to the women who don't have that mindset because they've either been sexually abused or they're fatherless little girls, or they have other barriers. Listen, that is okay. Like, you got to work through what you have going on. It's not a
Mhm.
comparison thing. But when you get to a space where you feel safe and you look at, again, yourself as, I'm married to this man, and him accessing me is really him using me as a feeding tank. I just think that is so beautiful that we are each other's feeding tank. And so it's always a feast available for you. And I
Oh my
do feel like
God.
if both men and women submitted sexually in all other ways, I say the feast is available for you, because commitment's what? Not what I feel, is what I said I would do. And if I'm marrying you, by
Yeah.
all means.
You
I
giving out
also
some
feel
game.
like
Oof.
that, like for me as a woman, if my man doesn't want me sexually, it makes me feel like inadequate. Like, well, is there something wrong? Like, are you attracted to me? Is there someone else that you're getting it from? Like, what's going on? So I personally it's like a compliment to me that my man wants to come and have sex with me no matter what time. Like, I've never been in a relationship and denied a man of sex. Like, it's just not, that's not something I do. I don't use my sex as a pawn and as a weapon. And I feel like a lot of women do that. And then, like you said, it leaves room for like, okay, I'm not getting what I want from home. And again, it's not in a way to be like, I don't want you to cheat, so I'm gonna have sex with you every minute. It's in a way of, like you said, I don't want people to misuse me, but use me as much as you can, because that's what I'm here for. I want you to want me, and I want you equally. And I feel like if I'm in love with this man, or even if there's times where like love is not always enough, but I know that I rock with you, I know we're connected, I view sex as a form of intimacy. You're inside of me. That's the closest we can be. So when I'm intimate with you, especially because men are different with expressing emotions. So for me, it's like, if you're inside of me and I'm intimate with you and you're kissing me and I can feel you inside of me, like, that makes me feel so close to you. And it makes me feel so loved by you that I'm just like at my highest, you know, like I feel.
Child. Anywho, we've done a little over 2.5 hours. Y'all saw how she exposed herself. Tari, you are absolutely right. The X is over. When he gets his nut, he's using her. He is absolutely using her. She is absolutely allowing herself to be used. She is absolutely in a situationship with a man who does not want to absolutely commit to her. And if there's ever a question, then it is not what you think it is. If a man is ever telling you, oh, well, we can't do this right now, he doesn't want you. He does not want you. When a man wants you, he will make it absolutely clear. Paul Pierce caught, and he caught it. He caught it. He absolutely caught it. And he was absolutely right to call it out. Y'all, I had to come live and talk about that because I was like, baby, Cheyenne is absolutely ridiculous and just doing and saying shit. Cheyenne is what I would call a malignant narcissist, because Cheyenne don't even see her. Eugene, we said that at the same time. She's a narcissist. She's absolutely a narcissist. Cheyenne can't see the error in her own ways. You have people that can have the education, the smarts, and still not even see themselves in the freaking mirror. She can't even see herself. And then, it's even worse when a woman is attractive and then they have a certain education and everything, to not be able to see yourself and to see the error of your own ways, especially as a 42-year-old woman, and then touting this freaking mentality across the internet. Ladies, we got a long freaking way to go. That is absolutely ridiculous. I feel I low-key feel sorry for her, because she didn't see herself, and she absolutely needs like some serious therapy. She needs some serious therapy. She hates men. She hates them. Um Cheyenne is like the type that wants to destroy men anally. That's the vibe she gives. That's absolutely the vibe. Cheyenne wants to destroy, baby. Cheyenne hates you, nigga. How you giving relationship advice and telling people, oh, it's weird. It's hella weird. It's hella weird. And then to get up on this man's show and talking shit to this man like this man wasn't married and actually had his kid. Like, what are you talking about, sis? Y'all can go catch the rest of the interview on the Truth After Dark podcast. I didn't watch the rest of it because I got tired of the bullshit and I got shit to do. Anywho, shout out to everybody for coming through. As y'all know, I love y'all. I'm so thankful that y'all come and still listen to my crazy ass. I'll probably be back this week. I think I got somebody coming through. I haven't made it solid yet, but I'm supposed to have somebody coming through to chop it up with another lady. Y'all know I've been talking to the girls this time around. I don't talk to enough of you. Nah, I ain't gonna say I talk to enough of y'all, but I've been wanting to have more conversations with women to, just chop it up, see what's popping, yeah. But yeah, shout out to everybody for coming through. I really appreciate y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. I'm out. Peace.